This one, oops, back up. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
It had a
That's
little bit
wicked.
of a limb.
That's
sticking.
beautiful.
You know, it was turned out a lot. Normally, mesquite doesn't have that type of.
I have
figure.
never seen spalting in mesquite.
Yeah. So, well, actually, that's not spalting. That's just I don't know what that is.
That's figure. Yeah, that's figure. Wow.
Oh, that's
You see where the branch came in.
Branch right there, right? It's a
Yeah.
crotch part.
Yeah, but
What is that like to turn? I've never
turns
seen
pretty good. It turns pretty
Does it?
nice.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got it. The grain in it is kind of a cross hatch type grain, you know. But anyway, I was really surprised. I really like this.
Yes.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and
it turns nice. It can dull your tools because of the silica in it, but other than that, it's nice.
yeah, it's a very nice turn. And then there's this one here. It's kind of a mate to it, but
Wow.
it
Yeah, that's pretty.
it's just got an oil based finish on it.
No, anything that you just showed us, were they the mate of each other?
Yeah, they were kind of close. They come off the same limb. I thought I was thinking they were. I'm gonna turn the camera down here. I was thinking maybe they were.
If you turn off your background, it would probably focus better.
I am going to do that right now.
It's all fuzzy.
If you'll just bear with me a minute. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, good.
I thought maybe they might be mates, but they're not really. Anyway, I was really like this figure. I mean,
Yeah, I've never seen mesquite sapwood look like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that come from a tree. That come from a tree that was over by a lake. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. You know, the water would get
probably.
The water would get up above it. I mean, past its trunk every once in a while. So, but anyway,
It could be mineral staining or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Really.
You know, and here's the end of it, end grain right there.
That's
So
cool.
it looks like it went on. They were on the same side of the tree together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
That.
so.
Yeah, maybe that.
Here's this.
Very
one.
cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh wow, that's into the heartwood. That's not sapwood. Wow.
Yeah, right here.
Oh.
So anyway, it turned out really nice. But that's my contribution for the night's gallery.
All right. Well, thank you. Those are very
That's
unique
awesome,
for sure.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Look great, Dewey.
Thank you.
It's you, Brenda. You're up next.
Me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this week I made heart
There you
plate.
go.
Ah.
Can you see the?
Hi.
Pretty.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What kind of wood is that?
I believe it's mahogany.
Looks like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mahogany. And then
Very cool.
today I made this little box here. See that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yep.
Nice grain match too.
Well, not too bad. Only thing is I didn't make it. You see that? The little wobbly. So,
I
yeah.
won't
Very
tell
cool.
if you won't tell.
Oh
But-
well.
The purpose of doing it anyway was to practice end grain, and the end grain turned out real good. You see that?
Yes, it did.
No, I didn't get no tear out.
Good.
Nice and smooth. I did not finish the inside though, but this is nice and smooth in here. And I'm not sure, but I think because of this spot right here, I think maybe that's ambrosia maple. I thought it was ash.
Not ash. You may be right about ambrosia maple.
Yeah. Okay.
It's too tight grain to be ash.
Right.
Okay. Well, it must be ambrosia maple then. Not much ambrosia
nice.
in it, but other than that little spot there. So
Yeah, that's what it
but
is.
that's what
Very
I got
nice.
today.
Thank you, Brenda.
You did nice, Brenda. Those are pretty.
Next up is Al. What you got, Al?
Message.
Thank you.
Well, let's see if we can put this together correctly. I also made a lidded box. My
Oh,
Top hat.
Cool.
I love
magic
it.
hat. Now, if everybody says Alakazam,
Alakazam.
I'll pull a rabbit out of my hat.
I love it.
oh, Al, that is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's been cold in here, like we've been talking about for the past half hour. I have a couple other things going on, but not finished. I thought this was kind of neat. I wanted to make sure I got this one ready.
Yes.
Very, very
It's
fun.
cute.
Very fun. Thank you, Al.
All right, you guys be good.
Yep.
Everybody have a good night.
You too,
You
Al.
too. Next up is Roger. What you got, Roger?
All right. Well, I got a new lathe this week. I got
What you got?
the
What you got?
Harbor Freight Power. So I've been playing with the variable speed. So here's a little walnut bowl
Cool.
that I did. Just took like 15 minutes to turn it.
Yeah,
So
very cool.
then I turn this. This is olive ash.
That's pretty.
Got a little bigger, didn't he?
Oh, that is
And
pretty.
Yes, it is.
I actually broke the recess. Snapped it right in two. So I lost about a quarter of an inch off of it, but it's still tall enough.
Yes.
But
What's
it's
the
got
Very
finish?
nice.
What's your finish?
Nice.
And I got it turned fairly thin. Unfortunately, when it broke, I was like halfway done on the inside, and I didn't quite get it as true as I thought I did. So when I went back to turning again, it was off center. So I had to return the outside, which gave me such a thin wall up here on the top, but it's all stayed together. So
And just tell everybody you did it on purpose.
Yeah,
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 looks
exactly.
good.
What kind of finish,
having
Roger?
a variable speed is nice.
Yes. What was your
What's your
finish?
What's that?
What was
What's
your
your
finish?
Finish on this is lacquer, and on the walnut was the Tripoli Ultra Sheen.
Cool.
Looks good. Looks great. Thank Roger.
Nice. Beautiful pieces.
Very nice. Thank you, Roger.
All right.
Next up is Dave. What you got, Dave?
Well, believe it or not, I made a cherry bowl.
Wow.
However, because of the bad weather, the little guy didn't come for a day or two, and I was able to get extra time in the shop. And
Nice.
this is, I think it's ash.
Another lidded box.
Nice grain lineup for
Got
sure.
a nice
Take one.
tight fit.
Nice.
And then
Ooh.
Oh, man.
That's neat.
Wow.
That's pretty.
this is locust.
Really?
Honey locust? Yeah.
Locust, that's all I know.
That is
Well, there's
pretty.
honey and
Lovely
black,
green.
and the two are quite different. So
Yeah. This is black have a yellowish wood like this? This is
no, black is darker and has a sort of a green tint to it. Honey locust looks like that.
yeah. So this must be
what
honey
that is-
locust.
Yeah, that's honey locust.
Is that
Very
texturing
pretty.
on the rim up there? Is that texturing?
No, it's
Or is
just
that's
just a bead.
okay. Okay. What I'm seeing is the grain. I see. Okay, the grain.
Yeah,
is,
that's the grain. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, locust is a beautiful wood. If you get any,
Yes,
Al, you
yes,
should
it is.
try
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
my
it
wife.
is.
Well, it's if you like turning rocks. I mean,
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
this has been around the shop for 5 or 6 years, so it is
That
very
black,
hard.
yeah, black locust is hard, hard, hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
black's even harder than honey.
Really.
And
Yeah.
don't try to split black locust if it's not frozen.
Well, everything in my shop was frozen this week.
Ah,
Yeah.
Well, it's a very nice bowl, Dave. Well
Even
done.
the water in my sharpener.
Nice.
Have you put
Night,
a black
they
light
are-
on that?
Oh, I haven't tried. I don't have one.
Oh,
But my wife pronounced this the best bowl I've ever done.
Well,
I'm
it's
not-
gorgeous.
I'm not so sure, but
it's pretty good.
I did a little apple one a couple of years ago that was gorgeous. Got $100 for it.
Apple's pretty wood too. Yeah.
Yes, I just
Well,
love it.
her telling you that that's your best one so far is encouraging. So that's
Is saying
you've got,
Dave, I want that one.
That's
pretty much.
exactly.
But
hey,
it's one of the
you
bigger
got
bowls I've
some-
ever done too. It's a good 10.5 inches across.
well,
It's been a fun
it's,
week.
and you've got the support from your wife, which is a good thing. So
Oh yeah.
very nice, very nice.
Have fun, everybody.
Yep, nice work, Dave. Next up is Jason. What you got, Jason? It gets there. Come on.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't
It's,
either.
it-
All
it's
right. So I've got a black
there-
walnut bowl.
there
It's
we
about
go.
the same diameter. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a
hey,
black walnut bowl. It's about the same diameter as that last honey
Kingsley.
locust, but it's a lot shallower. It's only
it's very nice. Good shape, Jason.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
thank you.
Very nice. What's it finished in?
Just boiled linseed oil.
Very
Nice.
Very cool. Nice
I,
work.
I like
That's
that
it.
color of that.
Yep, very nice. Next up is Norm. What you got, Norm? Unmute yourself. Yep.
Well, I was able to get out in the shop even though it's been 24 below.
Jeez.
I made this one.
Wow.
There you go.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's neat.
That's
cool.
red oak. So it's pretty fun. And then I made this one.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty.
They're pretty.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
That
pretty.
birch.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I really like the leaving the bark on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that looks like birch.
It is
Yeah.
birch. It was so thin, I didn't think I could make anything else out of it. I could have maybe tried a platter, but I thought this was kind of a neat idea. So
That's
Yes.
pretty.
Yeah.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
There's a lot to be said for shallow bowls. So I've made a
Yeah.
few myself. They're fun.
they are a lot of fun.
Yep.
Thank you.
Very cool. Nice work. Nice work, Norm.
Really.
Next up is Patrick. What you got, Patrick?
Yeah, this piece was a prototype. It's got a bunch of cracks and stuff in it.
Oh, beautiful.
Very nice.
I wanted to try.
Wow.
How did you do the circles on the side?
I took one of my larger chucks and took two of the jaws off of it and slid this between the two and held it this way in the chuck and spun it.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So you
Very
did that
cool.
first. You did that first, right?
Yes,
Then you made the bowl. Okay.
that's right.
That is a neat idea.
Goodness.
But see,
Yeah,
this
it
was
is.
with bugs and cracks.
Yeah.
So
Is that eight? Was that 8 sides? Was that 8 sides?
yes,
Okay.
I had a piece of decent Osage orange, so I decided to do another one.
Beautiful.
Pretty.
What is the
Very
size
nice.
of the height of that for your chuck? How high is that you were grabbing with your two jaws of your chuck?
This way is about 3
Yes. Okay. All right. Good.
It just barely would fit into Chuck when it was open all the way.
Beautiful.
That's
You can use
cool.
that same technique to flatten each side too, if you line it up right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could, but I just cut it off at the bandsaw
Yep.
Right.
and sanded each side.
Those are really
Very nice.
great ideas. They're very good ideas.
Nice grain on the Osage orange. It looks great.
The design reminds me of my old newel posts where in my old house in Philly. They had the like rosettes.
Yes, the rosettes.
Yeah.
Well, they've got like full-on rosette templates and stuff. There's a lathe setup that lets you make those, right? So that's very cool, Patrick, that you're just doing it freehand like that.
Yeah,
It's a neat
nice.
idea.
Very nice.
It was actually fun and different. And then I made this one.
Ooh. Oh, look at that on the
spiraling
bottom.
he puts on his
That's
That's pretty.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm taking your class. I'm taking your class up there.
I'm waiting on him to make a poker chip holder next.
It's
Sorry,
coming.
can't
We know
right
he
now.
has the whole sauce. We know he has the whole sauce.
What
Wow.
what brand of whole saws do you use there, Patrick?
I'm not sure.
Are they diamond or just rather sawtooth?
Just regular sawtooth.
Very cool.
Oh, that's
Very cool.
pretty.
Bless you. Whoever's sneezing.
Very nice.
Love it.
I like the center there too. You got your little sunset dimple there inside the bowl.
You
The
call that a
texturing
medallion.
is-
Yep.
And the
Look at
texturing
that.
is awesome.
Yes. Just
Wow.
You
gorgeous.
considered
Patrick.
you considered coloring those or filling those textures at all, Patrick?
Yeah, I thought about it, but this is cherry, and I thought the grain just really
Yep.
didn't need any help.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
I agree.
gorgeous.
You're right. You're right.
Very
You're right.
cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Last piece.
Oh,
With a
wow.
footed box.
Very
That's pretty.
nice.
Dang.
Oh, look at the little legs. I like that.
And then the top.
You make some of the coolest stuff, Patrick.
Yes, he
Beautiful
does.
stuff.
Beautiful.
It's a really pretty stuff.
Thank you,
I like
Patrick.
that.
You leave us with lots of thoughts on things we can do other than what we thought we could do.
Yeah. Now, how'd you do the top?
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
I turned it almost to shape and then took a parting tool and cut grooves, one here and then one here. And while it was on the lathe, I took my micro carver and the one I got the platform all made for it, and used a round burr for the outside and then a V cutter. Well, it was like a spear point to cut the grooves in the inside.
Beautiful.
Use the
So you
on
use
the
your
lathe.
indexing system, yeah.
Yep. And just slide it across and cut them out.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Patrick got his
Dang.
on and
Where'd you
went
get
crazy.
that? Where'd you get that idea? I mean, did you see it, or is it? I mean, woke up one morning. I mean,
The majority of the stuff that I come up with is laying in the bed at night because I can't sleep.
Yeah, that's
I think it's because my mind don't quit.
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
how
I know
I
that problem.
came
That's
about.
why I keep a notebook by the bed.
You don't actually dream about this stuff, do you?
No,
No more than you do.
Patrick, are you in your shop every day?
pretty much every day.
Yeah. Nice.
Just beautiful stuff.
Very
It's,
cool.
it's worse than drugs. I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't it
Yeah,
great?
just gorgeous.
Just
At least
fantastic.
it's not good bad for your
fantastic
health like
hobby.
drugs, though.
And you won't get arrested for this.
True.
True.
Very nice.
I just like different shapes and designs and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got it all right there. You got it all. That's nice. That's pretty.
Beautiful.
Love the shape for sure.
thank you.
Very cool, Patrick. Very nice. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Beautiful stuff, Patrick.
Next up is Bob. What you got, Bob?
You muted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got some inside out turning that I did. This is
the marble.
Yeah, marble. This was an idea by Darren something. I forgot what his name is now. Darren Daly. He has a couple of YouTube videos in different clubs where he did demos. But they were turned out pretty good. I like the longer ones better. I like this one probably better than any of them. But,
yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they turned out pretty good.
No,
anyway,
you have to finish the inside. You have to finish the inside and put the marble in as you roll them around, right?
That's correct. Yeah, you put
Okay,
you do the four pieces, and do the inside first, and then finish it, and then pull it apart and glue them back up again with the marble in it, and then do the outside. Turn the outside.
Very cool.
But these are pretty. I just I like the bigger size. His blank was a 6-inch blank, so you end up with about a 5-inch. That's what this is.
Yeah, I like the longer one too better too, Bob.
Bob, where do you get the big marbles?
It was Moon Marble Company.
Moon Marble Company.
Moon Marble Company. The marbles aren't high. They're $1 a piece. They're not that high. It's the shipping that gets you. It's 50. I ordered 20 of them. $15 shipping. So.
What did you glue them in with? I mean, and did you let them set for quite a while? I mean,
they're not
glued
glued
you don't
in
want
here.
it to break as you're spinning it.
Yeah, these are just free turning marbles in there.
Oh.
They're just sitting here. They're not tied to anything.
Oh, okay.
So you shake them around, but anyway, they have all different things. And he talked about opening them up. You see how it's how you can see the light through here, like that. And this was on 1-inch blanks. The 4 1-inch by 1-inch by 6 by. This was by 7. I think an 8-inch one would really look nice if it was longer.
It'd be neat if you could figure out some way to put a light underneath that marble.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Some light in here, and maybe even come in and put one of those little balloon lights in here that you could tighten up the bottom of it and turn the light on.
That would just you have to work it out with with your dot when you draw up for your inside out turning and add it. I'm sure it can be done. I mean.
Sure.
You're making it. You're the one that's making it.
Yeah.
You gonna show us one next week, Al?
No.
Bob, it looked like that first one you showed, that marble just barely fit in there.
It did. This one's tighter. It still turns, but it is tighter. It's a snug fit. That one there just barely in there. I mean, it's being held on the sides and on the top and the bottom.
Wow.
Where the other one, I don't know if I can get this right. Yeah, see how that one is a little opening there, but you turn it the other way, those other three sides are all touching.
That's incredible.
You gonna make that show and tell tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's going to be at show and tell tomorrow night.
According to my wife, I could never make one of those because I lost all my marbles years ago.
Here's a different one. This one is a different style. It's still on a 7-inch blank, but and it's a different marble. This one here is a completely clear marble, where the other one has a little color in it. It doesn't have a whole lot of color, but it does have some. I think the color gives it a little bit more, I guess, something else to look at, But the clear one's not bad, and like Al said, you put a light under these things, and I think they would put up, look real good.
Bob, what was the name of the person on YouTube you watched for this?
It was Daryl Day. Pull this sheet back out over here. Everything I do, I print off pieces on YouTube. So I do screen captures on YouTube and then come out and print them, and then I can look at them and say, okay, well, how do I want to do this? But these were some of his. But you're going to look for Darren Daly, Dailey, and anyway, and then that marble company. But these were Richmond's, was it Richmond Wood Turners was one of them. If you just search for his name, Darren Daly, and he'll come up with like 2 different wood turning groups that he did demos for that are out there. But both the demos are the same. One of them he shows like this. He shows painting the inside, but I think even painting the inside would look pretty. It'd be different, and it might give it some color back, shining off the marble. But I think he was just trying to paint it just so you could see the openings. It's easier for him to show the openings in here.
I think it'd be pretty cool with an Aggie.
I did a demo for the club for one. I don't know how long ago it was, but where I did an inside out ornament and I painted the inside of it. So that's on our website somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey Bob, how wide were those blanks?
The blanks they start out as 1-inch pieces, 1-inch square by 6 inches long. That's what he does here.
Okay.
Okay, the short one. But this was a 1-inch squares by 7-inch long.
All right. When you put them all together, gotcha. I understand it. They become 2 inches wide.
Four pieces together, so you end up with a 2x2 block. And 2x2 is fine. I think there's plenty of room, this way around it. Let me turn it here. This direction around it is 2 inches across here. Actually, that is 2 inches. This is going to be a little wider because, this way is squares where the square part is. So that's 2 inches. So it would be maybe 2.5 or something here. But I think there's plenty of room there. I kept thinking, well, I need to make the blocks bigger. See, that ended up about 1.5 inches across here, across the widest part's about 1.5 inches. But, you could make those blocks 1.25 inches or make them any size you want them. And then when you turn them, these points would stick out wider. These things are too heavy to hang in a tree anyway. And one of his, and I think he was just hadn't turned it off the lathe yet. But you could leave this bottom part and put a foot on here and just have it on a stand, where he's standing up off the table a little bit. And those would look pretty.
They could hang in a window.
Sure, yeah.
Let the sun shine through it.
Yeah.
From your rear view mirror too.
Yeah. And then I saw, after I did these, then I saw another place where they were taking the glass marbles and actually cutting, I guess, faucet or faces, or what are you going to call them over here? Like a diamond, and that would look pretty. That would probably shine and spotlight more things too. You just want something to pick up people's eye. That's all you really want. But he used a template, so he's got these 4 pieces, right? And he is, cutting out this thing, and he's got a template of the ball that he puts across this top edge. And that's how he gets the size of his window here when he got the first time you turn it. So you got a template, the ball sits in here, the template these balls are 1 3/8 or about. And so you can kind of use this half moon template. You cut out you drill a 1 3/8 hole in a piece of plywood or a piece of thin wood, cut it in half, and then use half of it to set up on top of this level part here, going across that ridge. So you can put the ball in here and still have the template coming across the top here too. Anyway, you just have to watch his video to see it, but it's fairly easy to do. It's not nothing hard to do, and they go real fast. There's not a whole lot of turning on this. I did put these other windows in here. These other windows, if you've ever done inside out turning, you normally are going to look across the flat of the piece, not on these edges that are sticking up, the diamond edge sticking up, the mountain. You would look straight across this, and right across here, whatever you turn here, that's what you're going to see is half of the window you just cut out to make this thing. But you're looking on this plane, not on this plane where I've got it turned. And anyhow, but these were fun to do. I think it'd be worth trying if y'all want to try these. But
they look really nice, Bob. They really do.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes,
it turned out really good.
One of the guys in England makes the same kind of thing. He puts a little bottle of whiskey in there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, you could put nearly anything in here.
I think it's Martin Clarkson, but yeah.
Martin, that seems like Martin.
That sounds like Martin.
Yeah.
So I put 2 links in chat. One of them was to one of Darren Daly's videos with the correct spelling of his name, in case you want to look for more. And another is an Amazon link for large marbles. That's 10 of them for like $13 or something like that. You've got Prime, shipping is free. So there's some options for you guys if you want them.
Sure. That like I said, that Moon Marble Company, the marbles aren't high. They're, like I said, $1 a piece. They sells them 10 in a set, or they're higher if you buy 1 or 2 of them. But you can buy 10 of them for $10. But it's the shipping. It was, like I said, it was $16 for shipping on 20 marbles. But anyhow,
also
marbles left over. I'm doing this again. So.
Nice job, Bob.
Very cool, Bob. Thanks for showing that. A lot of discussion on it.
Yeah. But they're neat. They're fun.
They are.
I did have to go back and clean up the marbles. I had buffed these, and I guess I got the buffing wax on here, and probably maybe even some glue, in these things. And so I came back and cleaned them up with fingernail polish remover on a Q-tip, and clean the marbles up so they look nice and shiny. But otherwise, that was the only real problem I had. Otherwise, they turned out great.
Very cool. Thanks, Bob.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Next up is Billy. What you got, Billy?
Oh. Well, let me see. We can do this the easy way. They're not real big, but my urn had quadruplets. This was the first of the little keepsake urns that I did. Get over here. And like I said, I didn't use the diamond on them like I used on the big one. It's only a V, and instead of using red oak for the other accent pieces. This one, with these, I used black walnut. So they're not completely identical, but and they stair step. It's kind of funny. This was the first one. This one is tiny bit taller. It's the second one. Third one's a little bit taller yet, and the fourth one is a little bit taller yet. But it's also the skinniest, which is kind of crazy. And I'm not real sure why, other than I knew they weren't going to all be the same because the pieces of Purple Heart that I used for the bottom weren't exactly the same either. But they were these two were cut from the same set of rings, and these two were cut from the same set of rings. So they should theoretically be the same diameter, but they are not. So I don't know what happened, but and I haven't. The first one that I did, I think it holds about 2 ounces. I haven't checked the other three to see how much they're going to hold, but I did
Bailey,
check on.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bailey, what were you drinking when you were making those?
Nothing. I don't drink. I don't drink in the shop, Howard. That's a no-no.
Those would be perfect for burying the ashes of your pet hamster.
Oh wait, that wasn't Howard. Oh yeah, maybe. I don't have a hamster, but that was Dewey. The keepsake urns are because she said the lady that ordered the big one, she wants her, I think her grandson and son and somebody else wanted keepsake urns for the ashes, so she's getting 5, the big one and these 4 little ones.
Bill, getting back to the different sizes of each of those. Now, I mean, you cut each one of the rings the same way on each one of them. I mean,
Yeah.
I know how it works. So, I mean, for each ring, you have a certain size that you cut, and you did it. Okay, and you had the bottom the same for all of them. I mean, it maybe when you were just turning a little bit, maybe a softer spots of the wood or something, and maybe it went thinner, maybe went not as thin.
No, I actually know why this one came out thinner, and it's because somewhere along the way, when I was gluing the rings to this, so these rings were made out of 3/4 inch stock. And even though the rings are only 1/4 of an inch high. So I made the rings, I made one set of rings. One set of rings makes 2 bowls. I mean, 2 small urns.
Right.
The problem was with this one, for one reason or another, when I got past about right here, I would have to slide the ring more one way than another in order to get the seams to line up right. So I'd have maybe a 1/16 of an inch to cut away on this side and an 1/8 of an inch over here to cut away on this side. And then it just progressively kept going that way. And I don't know what caused it, but it was kind of weird. So it would have been lopsided if I had turned it right. But so I just shifted the rings till they fit and clamped them up, or till the design lined up anyway.
She's gonna love them, man. She's gonna just love
But
them.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, this one didn't have any alignment problems, and it came from the same set of rings as this one. So I don't know why this one got off where it got off. It's kind of blew my mind a little bit, but
yeah,
it's all right.
It works.
Yep. They all have the same mesquite top and Purple Heart bottom. The threaded bronze rings, the low profile ones from Carl. Niles bottle stoppers. But they're done finally, so I can get back to doing some regular turning, I hope.
She's gonna love it. She's gonna
Yeah.
love them.
Very cool.
I
Those are
think,
beautiful,
I think
Billy.
so. Thank you.
Beautiful. Nice work.
Great job, Billy.
That's let's see. The beginning of the second week in December up until what, the middle of the third week in January, it took me to do these 5 urns.
It's a lot of work. I get it. We've all
It
seen
is.
you do
It
them.
really is. It was a lot of
Yes.
work.
Can't rush perfection.
No.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Billy. Next up, Jim says he's got something to show us.
Ooh, well, we were talking about tops. I make a lot of
Right,
tops.
we were.
The little finger tops, little kids can't twist their fingers, but they can put their 2 hands together and spin them. And a 5-year-old will pick this up and do it. Like maybe if I switch cameras, maybe I can, if I can spin them. Let me see if we can switch cameras here. Yeah, some things work.
There you go.
Cool.
Little kids can pick that up and do it in no time.
Yep.
So how'd you make the bottom, Jim?
Same way I made the top.
I want to see it. I want to see the shape.
Actually, this is a tenon. This is just a block of whatever. And the top works by the mass of the whirl, this whirl here.
Right.
And that's why this one here, I didn't even spin it much, but this has tremendous. This is I don't know what it is, but it's heavy as all get out. And the size of the spindle determines how fast it can go. If you make it for little kids, you make it I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. But for adults, you make it smaller, and it'll spin really fast. But like everything, it's a piece of wood. So if the weather changes tomorrow, this damn thing may wobble or do something. You never know what it's going to do next.
Right.
That's spinning for a while right now. Look at that. It's still like it's going to go for a while.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hope it
This
doesn't
is
touch
another
that.
kind. This got a pull string on it. This has got a cory on top. I'm not going to do this thing, but I just did an article on this one in the Wood Turning magazine. In fact, I don't even know if it's come out yet, but this is another one. Maybe I can do this. I don't know.
Does that one have a cory on bottom too?
No, this has got no. I just did this for Wood Turning magazine, so it's all wood. But anyway,
Those are serious tops.
Well, I tell you what, that's
look how stable that is.
Stable.
That's really
amazing.
stable.
So how many layers did you glue together there?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 layers.
Okay. And
Yep.
and the top one is the handle on top is another something that you, or is that something you just added? Okay, yeah, something that you added. But it would still have to be in level, so in line.
As stable as that was crazy. The balance in that thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Well, you never know. Like you said, you never know what this is. Oak and bloodwood, maple and walnut, I think. Just put the
Looks like
spindle in
walnut
there.
on top.
The spindle holds it all together and centers it so that you can turn it.
Wow.
I used to make them bigger, but some guy's kid dented the refrigerator, and I said, maybe I better not.
Oh goodness.
Was that kid your father's kid?
No. Be liable for something. And the handle is quilted. I don't know if you can see the quilted.
Goodness.
Yeah, I can
Just some
see some of
scraps
it.
just some project wood you had laying
Show us,
around.
Jim,
Huh?
show us, Jim, how you wind it back up. Show us how you wind it back up. Where do you stick the string in the spindle?
Well, you just put this, you put this in here first,
Uh-huh.
and push the string in.
Got a
You
little
just stick the
hole.
string in, I don't know, inch and a half or something, let it stick through.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see was that.
Threading the needle there.
There you
Yeah. And spin it over. Oh, oop, I only got it through a half inch here. I get, but
Yeah, you know that competition you was talking about, Matt? Forget
Yeah.
it, I'm out.
go. Yeah, forget about everything I was talking about.
Well, we're gonna have to make them there, or it doesn't count, Brenda. So I can make one of those. Look at
Yeah,
that.
Duxbury's
You
gonna
can't.
be there. It don't matter.
You can too. Yeah.
No. Jim is inspiration.
this one has a
You can make
corian
it.
tip. I made dozens of these things.
Dang.
Very cool.
Jim, are you in your shop every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't been the last couple of days. Everybody talks about 10 below zero or whatever. I'll tell you, when it's 40 in North Carolina, that's the equivalent of 10 below zero in other places.
I agree. It was in the 30s down in Florida, and I froze.
You got it.
Hey, Jim, you keep all that snow this weekend, okay?
Yeah, you got it.
We got down to upper teens here one night. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be 6 here tonight.
Yep.
Different kind of cold. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jim. Those are great.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Down to 8 right now here in Horseheads, New York.
Okay, so next up on our list for gallery is Ron. Hey, Ron, what you got?
Hey. Yeah, so this week I've been working on making a maple leaf bowl out of maple.
Oh, man, beautiful.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
Heck yeah.
So
Anyway.
how'd you cut it? Did you cut it by hand?
Well, I could use a bandsaw to cut it first, and then I put it on my lathe after it was already cut. The shape was already cut out like a leaf.
Well,
and then
that's what I'm saying. So I mean, but you cut it by hand. You didn't use a CNC or anything like that.
Oh no, I cut it with my bandsaw.
Right.
You use
So-
oscillating sander to sand all the little
right.
and
Now-
enhance it.
And all your tips are still there. That's awesome.
My tips are still there, and even this piece here, the
Okay, when you cut it, how thick was the slab that you started with?
it was about 1 5/8, I think, or 1 7/8,
Uh-huh.
something like that, 8
Uh-huh.
inch square.
That's
Anyway,
pretty.
and then you guys are talking
Beautiful.
about top. So this is my humming top that I made, and it's big. It's about 5.5 inches in diameter and maybe 7 inches tall.
That's the one that hit the refrigerator.
Is it?
Yeah, 10 inches refrigerators. And then-
Is it
and then I
hollow
made a
on the
handle
bottom?
for it. Say again.
Is it hollow on the bottom?
It's hollow. The whole thing's hollow.
Okay.
Wow.
Does it whistle with the holes? Does
Yeah,
it whistle?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It's got it's 2 pieces actually. That's why I have
my
to have
God.
the burned piece here in the center to hide the seam,
Yeah.
and then make your handle like this. And hang on here, I'll try and get it lined up here. But anyway, you wind the string around, and then you just pull it like this, and then
Right.
and
So
it spins, right?
do the holes have to be done a certain way so they whistle?
Well, I've tried them all different ways. I've tried them going, drilling strap. I've made 3 of these things so far, and drilling straight in and drilling in an angle, and then having it spin, counterclockwise and clockwise, and it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference actually. So anyway,
Wow. Cool.
and I got an escutcheon pin that I put in the bottom so that it, doesn't wear out the wood. But
Very cool.
anyway,
Wow.
It is. That's cool.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Very
Well,
neat,
that's-
Ron.
that's-
Thanks
that-
very much.
Yeah, really.
Loved,
Thank you.
loved your bowl, Ron.
So thank you.
Yes.
And next up is Todd. Hey, Todd.
Hello. So I have a little bowl here out of some maple, and I put a little texturing around it there with the Sorby texturing tool.
Cool.
And then I didn't see Scott Hampton on here, but then the mini carver or whatever, the Proxon one that he used in his demos a couple of weeks ago. Then I did the little feet on the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty cool.
So
Oh, that's nice.
Billy, I kept hearing in my head, like 2 months ago, I showed a bowl that had a really like a big foot on it. You're like, that's perfect for putting some feet on it, perfect for carving it. And I was like, nope, ain't gonna happen. And then so finally, when I got this little mini carver from Scott, I said, well, I'm gonna make a bowl and put little feet in it. Now I got to tell you, I messed up, and so my lathe has indexing stuff in it that Nova DDRXP, 24 indexing pins, and so I 24 you divided by 3, 8. So I put it on number 1, made a mark, turned it to number 8, made a mark, turned it to 16, and made a mark. The problem is that's not 8 spots, that's 7 spots.
You're right. You should have gone 9 and then 17. Yep.
Well, you just go 8, 16, 24. You don't start at 1, and then you're fine. So I'm off.
Right,
so there's like a big gap here and a smaller gap there.
If you hadn't brought it up, I wouldn't have noticed.
No. Well,
Yeah, you can't hardly see it.
It's just this one is just not quite positioned right, and of course,
that's
it needs
horrible
to be like up here
see, I see
instead.
it. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely horrible. I'll never get over it.
If you hadn't brought it up, we wouldn't have noticed.
Never.
Well, I want to make sure that somebody else doesn't do the same silly thing, because this is an avoidable mistake, right?
Yep.
If it makes you feel any better, Todd, I've done exactly the same thing.
Todd,
I'd love to tell you it's the
better.
first time for
That's
me.
what we're all here for tonight. Just to learn that.
And with this little piece of wood, I started out, I just flattened the bottom of it, and then I took that Proxon mini carver and was practicing doing texturing on the flat bottom of it. Different speeds for the tool, different speeds for the lathe and whatnot. And then I cut it off and do it again, cut it off and do it again. And then I finally got to the point where I thought, man, I'm getting what I want out of that. And so I did a bowl shape, and like through here, I did a pattern with that tool, and I hated it. So I cut it off and I did it again, and I didn't like it, but it sort of had like a leopard look to it. So I was like, man, I'm going to dye that and see if it looks good dyed. And it didn't look good dyed. So I cut it off and I did it again. And I thought, man, that's going to look good dyed. So I dyed it.
Would you start out with 16?
Just like I did the first time. And so then I textured. I cut all that off and I put texturing in there. And I'm like, well, you know what that texturing needs? That texturing needs color. So I put color in it, and it looked horrible. So I cut all that off and I did it again. So this is like version 5 on this piece of wood. And then, it looks like there's tear out in here, but it's not. That's in like the grain of this wood.
Oh, you don't have it on.
It's just
Yeah,
not.
looks like some dirt.
Huh?
Yeah, it's just not the.
I guess, Todd, make version number 6 and fix that foot.
There's not enough meat left on the bottom there. It's not super thin, but it's pretty consistent all the way around.
Goofy.
So there's not really room for me to remount it and do that.
That's a pretty piece. Pretty piece.
No. Yeah, that's mine for the day.
Well, does it sit flat? Does it sit flat?
Oh, it sits great. And
Okay.
the center of it is about a 16th higher than where the feet are. I mean, it really does.
So it barely clears the table. Is that what you're saying?
It clears it nicely. It sits on there nice.
Yeah, it looks good from here, Todd.
Yeah. So it was fun. Good way to spend 4 or 5 hours messing with that tool.
Yes.
Lots of design opportunities.
Design. Well, yeah, I'm a big believer in you take a piece of wood, you're going to do something with it. Just don't take it down to where you want it to be. Just get it to where you can sand it up, and then try your color, try your texture, turn it off, and do it again. So I'm like a big believer in that, and so that's what happens with a lot of my pieces. Is I'll do 3 or 4 different iterations of one piece of wood, either in the whole thing or in little pieces, places on it.
I like the little short feet. It gave a fantastic shadow line at the bottom of the bowl sitting.
Yeah, it really picks it up off the table nicely.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's about right.
Makes it look like it's not sitting on feet. Makes it look like it's just kind of floating.
Yeah, so I'm happy with the feet. I just wish they were spaced properly, but that's no big deal.
Time.
I'm not changing it. I'll keep it
Right.
there. Use it. It's a memory piece now.
Yeah. Well, that is nice.
Tell
Nice
everybody
piece
you
of work.
did it on purpose.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. All right, well, thank you very much, Todd. It's the top of the hour, and we're out of people for gallery anyway. So I'm going to go back to you, Scott, and I think we're up to doing the demo. If I'm not wrong about that.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
We'll hit Safety Sue for a safety minute if she's ready. Is she here?
She's here. Let's go to Sue. Play stop site. She's muted.
You're muted, Sue.
There we go.
Hang on. My sister's gonna. There we go. She turned off the TV so we can do this. As I haven't been in my shop, it's too cold out there, and everybody hasn't been in their shop because it's too cold. Just know that when you are in your shop and your hands are icy cold, they cut nicer, and they hurt a lot worse if you've gotten hit with a chuck or anything else in your knuckles. So be careful for coldness in your hands and around the machinery. I can't stress enough face masks. I see a lot of people, because their items are small, they've just got safety glasses on, and they don't put a face mask on. So folks, I'm asking this week, be cognizant of your face shield, please. There's been too many accidents lately in the wood turning world about people getting hit with things flying off the lathe. Also, if you're using a chuck, stop it periodically and make sure that the chuck has tightened it. Retighten it. It only takes a second. Also, remember, make sure that your tool is on the tool rest when you're turning. It only takes a millisecond to raise your tool off that tool rest and everything goes flying. So folks, be careful this week. It's cold out. I know a lot of us are not in the shop, but please be careful because I want to see your pretty faces next week. So take care, you guys. Be safe this week.
Thanks,
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Watch out for falling iguanas, Sue.
Yeah, hard hat.
That's on the other coast, guys. The other coast, Miami, and they actually put up warnings for that in Miami.
So we got Jeff up for the demo. If he's ready, I'll spotlight him here.
Yep. Do you want to go to him, or is there anything announcements to make about Level Up or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I suppose we could talk about Level Up, but we can leave Jeff up there while I talk about Level Up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Registration, as everyone knows, is open for Level Up. Come and get registered. It's going to be a great program. It's going to be great to see everybody in person. I don't know if you could contact your local clubs and let them know about Level Up. Take a brochure with you. Take the list of courses with you that you can print off the website. And get it out to your local clubs. That would help greatly. Dane and I are doing some emailing to some local clubs. I'm going to talk to Matt here later tomorrow and see if he can contact the clubs that he knows of in Michigan. And I have a letter form letter for them to send. If somebody wants that form letter, contact Dane or myself through our email accounts, which are on the website. And we'll send you a copy of the letter, so you don't have to write a letter if you want to send it to a club that you may or may not go to often, but you're affiliated with. You can send it to whoever their secretary is, their club president or whatever, and let them know about us and let them know about Level Up, especially if you're in the surrounding states close by. We're hoping to draw a few members, at least to our wood turning Zoom meetings and to Level Up possibly. So with that, I'm going to let Jeff do his demo. This is the way Jeff does it. Everybody should be good. I'm not going to mute everybody. Oh, here, I can do it. Hang on. I'm going to mute everybody, Jeff.
You'll have to unmute yourself, Jeff.
You got to unmute yourself, Jeff. I muted everybody. You're still muted, Jeff. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Hit the wrong button. So, hello everybody. Welcome to my shop. Tonight I'm going to do a demo on making a slimline pen, but I'm not going to just start at the lathe. I'm starting from the beginning, taking you all the way to the end, including the CA finish. The beginning portion of it, I don't have a lot of room to move cameras around my shop, so I had to move equipment out, set up cameras. So I did the cutting, the drilling, and the gluing on a pre-recorded video that I'm going to run first, and then we're going to move over to my lathe, and we're going to start the sanding and turning process. So let me get down to share. Got that. Yeah.
Is your volume, Jeff, or you want to talk over what you're doing?
You can't hear it?
Can't hear it.
I got full volume.
You may have to click when you click to share screen, add the video or add the audio with it.
Okay, so I've shared the screen. How do I add the audio?
You might have to unshare it and then reshare it and then add the audio as you go along.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, share with audio.
Okay. Share sound.
There you go.
Okay. First time I've ever done that. Okay, let's see if this is better. Do you guys want me to go back on the video or just continue?
Start from the beginning, Jeff.
Okay, we can do that. Well, here we are at my bandsaw, and we're going to start the process of preparing this blank to turn into a pen. I've got a piece of wood here I got out of my box of pen blanks. It's a pretty wood. Couldn't tell you what it is right offhand. Maybe walnut, maybe some sort of mahogany. I am not sure. Now for this, I am going to use a sled. And this is my sled. It's from Penn State. And I do admit it's overkill in a big way. But this is what I use, especially when I'm doing my production turning and I have to cut a lot of lengths. It just keeps everything consistent. You do not have to use a sled. You can cut this freehand. And before we head over to the next part of preparing a blank, I will also cut a blank freehand and show you how I do that. So since I've got the sled, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off just this end right here just to make sure it is square. So let's start her up. Okay, sorry about all the noise. So I'm going to check it real quick with my framing square, and it is square. So what I want to do now, I've got my tubes, and I want to set this so that the tube is 1/16 of an inch from the outside edge of the tooth of my blade. And I have a big resaw blade in here, so I don't have to worry about any kind of drift or anything like that. So I'm going to loosen this up, the stop block. I'm going to get this up into place. And it's a little hard to see, and you're probably not going to see it too well there, but I am 1/16 of an inch away. Now, the trick is tightening this up without loosening it. That's my one complaint about this sled. So, we're there. Double check it. Yep, it loosened. So I'll just bring it over just a little bit. Tighten her down again. Okay, just a hair more. Right there. That's it. So that is perfect. So now we don't have to measure or mark any lines on this at all. The sled is going to take care of everything for us. So let's go ahead and get the 2/2 cut for the slim line. And there you go. They are cut. And what I'm going to do on this is to get my Sharpie, and because I'm doing grain matching on everything that I do, I make a mark to make sure that the two sides stay together while I'm doing the turning. That of course will be turned away, but it gives me a point of reference to start with. And I know that all my ends are square because I checked it off in the first place, and I know that this bandsaw is tuned up, so I'm perfectly square between the blade and here. So anyways, that's how I do it with a sled. Now if you don't have a sled, you can make one. Very simple flat piece of 1/2 inch plywood with a miter bar in there that you can make also out of plywood. Or you can freehand it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab another blank and I'm going to show you how I freehand it. Okay, I've got another blank here, and we're going to measure this and cut it freehand. Now this is a little bit more of a process. So I know this is a perfectly square end. I've already checked that out. So I'm going to make that my top to start with, and I'm going to place the blank, or the tube I mean, sorry, I'm going to place it right at the very end, and then I'm going to mark with a pencil. I'm just going to eyeball 1/16 of an inch from the tube. Then I'm going to take my square and draw a line. So there's my center point, and that's a very important point for me, as I'll explain as we go along in the process. So, and that buzzer was my dryer going off, so just ignore that. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to come down with the tube, and I'm going to put it basically right on the line, and I'm going to mark 1/16 of an inch off, and then I'm going to draw a line right there. So now I have my 2/2 of my pen laid out, and just like with the other one I showed you, this is my center point to make sure I'm grain matched.
Look like it
Let
shrunk.
me get this stuff out of the
Jeff,
way.
it dropped your video down small.
Okay.
There
Well,
we
here
go.
we are at my bandsaw, and we're going to start the
Okay.
process of preparing
I
the
don't know what the heck happened. Let me take it back to this point.
Yeah.
of an
Okay.
inch off,
There we go.
Perfect.
and then I'm going to draw a line right there. So now I have my two halves of my pen laid out. And just like with the other one I showed you, this is my center point to make sure I'm grain matched. So let me get this stuff out of the way. And now we're just going to cut this by hand. I just want to lower this just a little bit. That's unfortunately going to obstruct the camera, so I'll bring it back up. So here's the goal. The goal is to make this just as straight as you possibly can, which means go slow. And it's definitely the point to make this just as straight as you possibly can, so you definitely want to go slow there. When I cut the end, excuse me, I'm going to cut on the outside of the line. Let's do that first. And then we're going to go and we're going to cut right straight down the center. So you notice how slow I went, and that was to make sure the line stayed straight. So anyways, let's get our tube. Let's hold it onto here as a reference and see if we got some space. And we do. We got about a 1/16 of an inch between the end of the tube and the blank. And I'm going to come over to this side, and we have got 1/16 of an inch between the end of the blank and the tube. So that's exactly what we want. So now we're ready to go on to the lathe and drill this. Okay, we're at the lathe now, and I've installed my Jacob's chuck with a 7mm drill, brad point drill. That's the size we use for a slimline kit. Now, what I want to do, and I'm hoping, I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a little bit here and get you a better look at this. What I want to do is I want to mark on the drill bit just the point where the point of the drill bit is coming through the end, so that I know to clean it off and go back in and do a very gentle run until it goes all the way through. So I'm going to mark it with my Sharpie basically right like that. I'm an 1/8 of an inch off the end of the brad point. And I'm just going to mark it right there like that. And that gives me what I need. Now I'm also using my Hurricane chuck with pin jaws in it. I know it's there somewhere. There it is, with pin jaws in it. And I'm going to take my first blank. I'm going to slide it in. Now I always drill from the center to the outside on both blanks. So I'm going to get this into here. And when you do this, if you're going to drill this way, make sure your blank is perfectly square. You don't want it to be any type of a rectangle, because what will end up happening is one or two of your jaws will not be gripping. You'll just have two, and that means it can move up and down and have some issues. So we got that set in place and ready to go. We're going to move the tailstock up, and I got the brad point right at the wood, and now we're at the point we're going to drill all the way through. I'm going to be using my compressor to kind of blow stuff out of the way. I am not going to run my dust collector for the sake of this video, because it's just going to make too much noise. So we are going to do our first blank at 500 RPM, which is the speed I always drill at. Here we go. And I'm just drilling in, I want to say about 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to bring it out and just give it a quick blow off. And I'm going to go back in. Now, as you can imagine, when you're doing a production turn and you got like 20 blanks to do, this gets old real fast. And it gets real sore on your arm. There, I'm at about the halfway point, so I'm going to bring it out. And you know you're when you're about the halfway point because she starts squealing because there's a lot of the body of the drill on the wood. So now I'm going to slide the whole tailstock in gently till she stops. And now I'm going to work on taking it the rest of the way. Going up about halfway that distance to the end. I am now up to my Sharpie mark, so I'm going to pull it out, clean it, back it off just a little bit, and then I'm going to gently slide it in until she stops. And then I'm going to gently move the drill in very slowly until she clears. And you can feel it when it clears all the way through. Now I'm doing this because I don't want blowout. Sorry about the compressor. And as you can see, no blowout. Okay, now we're ready to drill the second blank, and it is not seated properly. Let's see what I did wrong here. The first one seated beautifully. Let's take a look at that. That looks better. Guess I wasn't paying attention. So there we go. So now we're going to do the second one just like the first one. I'm just not going to go through all the explanation. Just remember to take it slow and little bits at a time. Okay, I'm a 1/4 inch from the mark. So I'll bring it out. Whatever this wood is, it's very powdery. Then we're going to take it very slow to get it all the way through. And I feel the tension lightening up. And she's through. Pull it back. Stop it. Take the blank out. And as you can see, no blowout. So both ends are drilled through. Both pieces are ready to go. Now we're going to head back over to my table saw, which is also my bench, and we are going to do the glue up. Okay, I'm here. I've got my epoxy mixed up with just 2 little dabs. This kit is a fun line, not a slim line, and I could tell that because the tubes were not scored. So I went ahead and scored them with a piece of 150 grit sandpaper. And it's just a simple process of doing this. That's all I did. Then I took my Play-Doh and I pushed each tube down in to the Play-Doh to form a plug at the end. And that's going to be your big friend. Let's get rid of this. And the reason I'm starting at this point is because I did about 5 minutes of recording without realizing I didn't hit the record button. So there's my demo-itis for the night. So now I'm going to put a little bit of epoxy on. And it's not going to be a lot because what I want to do is I want to go from not the center end, but the opposite end. And I'm going to work this back and forth and twist it as I'm doing it, working it in. Then I'm going to pull it out, put some more epoxy on it. Now I'm down in the center where I want to be. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back and forth and spin it to get it coated. And you can feel that epoxy is oozing through the whole channel. And then when I get to a certain point, I push it down flush with my stick and drag the stick across like a trowel, and that evens it all up. Now we're going to do the same on the other end. Starting from the outside edge, pushing in, and of course Play-Doh end first, twisting back and forth, turn it around, put a little bit more epoxy back on. That's probably a little bit more than I need, so we'll have a lot of waste, but that's normal. And back and forth, and as you do this, you can feel the epoxy spreading through that hole. Then push it down, trowel it off, and then you let that set for 24 hours. And I am using BSI Industries, which is Bob Smith Industries, 30-minute epoxy. I don't like 5 minutes. It's too quick for me. 30-minute epoxy, if I'm doing a production turn, will let me do 3 to 4 blanks before I have to mix more up. So this is my epoxy of choice right now until I find something better. And that's it. Everything's glued up. We just let it set overnight now. And then when we're done with that and we come back, we're going to have the camera over at the lathe, and I am going to show you how I square up the ends using sandpaper. So we'll see at that point. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay then. I'm going.
So far, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Thank
Keep
you.
going.
Thank you. That's the one part you never see in demos for pens. I don't understand it, and it's more important than the turning. So anyway, so I'm going to get my respirator on because I never turn without it, and then we're going to head over to the lathe. I got a new 2-camera setup that I'm using for the first time tonight, so this could be quite adventuresome. So let me get this on. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Never, ever turn without a respirator. It's really your life's blood. So let me switch the cameras over to. That's not it. Overhead. Okay. There's the overhead shot of my lathe. I'm going to walk over to there. And this is my sanding system. I used to have one that I made from a piece of plywood, but when you replace the sandpaper on it, it really tears the layers off the plywood. So this is actually a Ron Brown's best sanding disc that he has made up that I bought from him. So I also have this base here that I built, and then when I put it into place, I use my square to make sure it's even with it. So I'm getting as straight of an edge as I possibly can. And the thing with this is you want to get, this is actually a good example. The part is about 1/8 of an inch around your tube. That's where it's got to be square. If it's not so square out here, it's not comfortable. So we're going to get this going. I generally do my sanding at 1250 RPM. And we're not going to have a lot of sanding to do because we cut this blank so tight to the tube.
So let's get her going and see. Let me do this real quick. Let me turn on. Okay, can you hear me okay still?
Yes.
Okay. There we have it. That one is done. So we're going to go to the other side now and do the same thing. And this is going to take a little bit more shampoo. That was done. Let's do the other. There we go. That's ready to go. So let's get this out of here now. So now we're going to mount the blanks onto our pen mandrel. And I like to use a right side pen mandrel. I think these are the best out there. You can adjust the length of it. I have it adjusted to pretty much what I always use. And I'm going to go with this part as my top because I have a little bit more grain being displayed. So I'm going to take this off, put that on, put on one bushing, put on another. Bear with me a second. I'm going to switch over to a different dust filter system. Because I was actually having trouble hearing. So there we go. We are ready for our turning. There's a few different ways to do it. When I first learned, I learned using a standard roughing gouge. And I'll do some of the roughing out with this today. Another way, this is my favorite tool. This is the Sorby Micro Spindle Gouge. I use this most of the time. And then some people like to use carbide for everything, and that's perfectly fine. I use the carbide as a final step that I'll be showing you before we do the sanding. I also turn at 3,000. I'm just setting my length at that right now. Okay. Let's make sure we, yeah. Okay. I've got this against my, you can't really see it in the camera. I've got the handle against my body. And I'm just like any other turning, I'm going to use my body rocking back and forth, and I'm going to use my finger on the tool rest as a guide to keep the depth the same. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take them down so they're about an eighth of an inch from the bushing, because I like to make my pens a little bulbous in the center so they're easier on the hand for people who write a lot. Okay. So I've got this an eighth of an inch. I cut my finger, don't know how I did that. Got this an eighth of an inch from the bushings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working with this to bring it, to shape it so that it's wider here and here than at the ends. So I just want to make sure I got everything set right. Alrighty then. So we're going to take short strokes now and lighten it up as we come towards the center. Feeling the end. A little bit of a ridge still. Okay. Okay, one of the things that I find with this lathe, and I don't know if this is a lot of people had this, but one of the things you have to do is to make sure that the point of your tail or your eye center is perfectly centered with your spindle, and I do that with a 60-degree um, dead center. This is perfectly centered as it should be, but every once in a while, I will still get a little bit of lift on one side where it is just a little bit thicker than the opposite side. And I'm not seeing a lot of that here, but I'm seeing a little bit. There's some right here. And I know it's probably hard to see in the camera. And the way I solved that is with my carbide and just working on the ends. So I am centered. And I'm just going to touch it. I didn't like how that would shape right there, so I just went ahead and did that also. And I'm just taking very light cut. And I got it. So they are now even with the bushings. So now we're ready to move on to the next step, which is the most important step. Now, when we make pens or we make projects, we put a wax on at the end or lacquer or other finishes. We call them finishes to give them that nice shine or to seal them and to protect them. I've learned that that's not the finish. The finish is actually sanding. If you don't have a really good sanded finish, then when you put your coatings on, all the imperfections are going to stand out. So I'm going to run through the sanding process here with the two most important grits being 120 and 240. I always sand at 500 RPM, so I'm slowing it down to that. And it's not a long process either. This being the most important grit, this is where we're going to get rid of tool marks and other imperfections like that. So let's get it spinning. And I'm keeping the sandpaper moving, and I'm watching for these dark lines to eliminate. That means I'm getting everything level. There's a bad cut down there. And one of the things I find when I'm sanding is one of your most important tools is going to be air. So always have your compressor handy so you can get in there and blow the dust out. Because when you blow the dust out, it will sometimes expose misses or scratches that were filled up and you didn't get. So I'm looking at this. That's actually looking pretty good. That's a beautiful wood. So let's go down to here. And again, just getting the tool marks out and doing the final shaping. Okay. So the next step of sanding, for every single bit you do, you've done the sanding while it's turning. Now you want to do the sanding with the grain to eliminate any circular scratches that may be there. I just go around once, turn the paper around, start on the other side. And again, a little bit of air to. Now, what I'm looking for is any circular scratches that still exist, and a lot of times you'll have them at the ends. And boy, by golly, this is the first for me. I'm not seeing any. That's just amazing. Let's go down here and take a look. Oh, a little bit there. Sometimes what you think is the scratch is actually a bit of grain in the wood, especially when you've got this kind of grain coming in. So, okay, let's see what we got here. A little bit there. A little bit there. And what happens is sometimes you will not see the scratch until you get up into a higher grit. And then you got to go back, which is an aggravation, but that's the fun of making pens. Okay. So I think that's the most sanding I'm going to have to do with one particular grit, and that was the 120. I'm moving on to 240 now. And this isn't going to take as long. Basically that and that. I see a little bit here I want to get. There we go. If you hear the compressor, sorry for that. It's sitting right next to my lathe because I have nowhere else to put it.
Yeah, Zoom's muffling it.
Okay, let's do an inspection. Not seeing anything there. Anything there. Well, that's looking pretty good. Okay, I guess that's 240. Now we're moving to 320. If any scratches were missed, this is where they're going to show up at. And I don't do a lot at 320. I'm just touching it, basically. Now, beginning with 320, what we're doing is we're shining the wood more than anything else. It's good. 400. I'll stop at 400, but I'm going to go for 600 tonight, just for the heck of it. And that took less time than I normally have, so that's a pretty good sanding job. Now the real fun begins. We're going to put on the CA finish. Let me get my gloves.
Hey Jeff, what is that special device you just laid down? Is that a bed diaper? Is that a bed diaper? That special device you laid down?
That's an old T-shirt. When my T-shirts start getting kind of dull and dingy, they become rags in my shop.
There you go.
I'm getting ready
Always
to
smart
retire
to,
some more for the shop.
it's always smart to put a diaper down on top of your bed when you're getting ready to
Yeah.
put finish on.
The diaper days for my wife and I are over.
Amen.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Diaper
These
days tend to come
programs I've
back.
got are from Harbor Freight. They're 5 mil. I've gotten the 7 mil before, which are nice, but they're real heavy. They're hard to get on and take off. I get 4 or 5 uses out of these unless I glue my fingers or something. So I use these over and over again. So my method for, and I'm looking at this, this is not really an open grain wood. In other words, I can't scratch my finger cross grain to get the nail caught in anything. This is a pretty tight grain. So I'm going to be going with all thin CA. If it had a bit of an open grain to it, I would do the first 2 coats with medium and then switch to thin CA.
Jeff, do you put any type of staining? You put any type of staining sealer on before? You put any type of staining sealer on?
No, I never put staining sealer on a pen.
Okay.
I've run into problems with that before with blotching. So I go right to the CA and let the CA do the sealing. So I do this just like all my sanding. I do this at 500 RPM. Let's just put that there. And I do 5 coats, and I'm using Starbond thin. Let's go this way. Thin odorless. This is something new they've come out with, and I really like this. It really doesn't put off fumes. So, and while we're at it, give me a second. I want to turn off that air filter now because I won't need it. It might make it a little easier for me to hear you guys. There we go.
Can you hear better now?
Yes.
Outstanding.
Okay. So basically, we're just going to drizzle it on. And that's it. This is usually where I glue it onto my glove. Then some activator. You don't need to put a lot of activator on. Keep the can back about a foot and just hit it with a mist. I'm just going to look for any kind of bumps or anything because that sometimes happens. And it hasn't here. So we're going to go for the second coat. And we're just going to drizzle that on. No lumps or bumps there. If you do happen to get lumps or bumps, the only fix for that is to sand it back down to where it was at 600 and start over again. There we go.
Jeff, what material are you using for an applicator?
Oh, this is a paper towel from Kroger's. The ones you can tear off half sheets, and I just cut it into 5 strips. That's all I've ever used. I tried the blue paper towel from Home Depot and Lowe's, and it leaves a blue tint behind on everything I've ever done. So I've gone to this, and this works really well. This has been my applicator of choice for 5-6 years now. I used to use a rag, and I've gotten completely away from using rags, simply because of the dangers of them. So let's do this. Couple drops. We don't need a lot now. That's looking good. And then the final, I only do 5 coats. When I was learning this, all these people were doing 15 coats of medium. I saw one person do 15 coats of thick. And what they ended up with was, it looked like you were looking like at a piece of wood underneath glass. And that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for a shine. So this is what I've ended up doing. That's all there is to it. And that speed and the speed that I do that at and just getting rid of it, that I learned from Captain Eddie. And I thank him greatly for that, because that solved a lot of problems that I had. So I'm going to let that
How
sit
fast
for a
are
second while I throw these away.
how fast are you going there?
500 RPM. Sanding and CA, I always do at 500 RPM. Much more than that, you're going to have CA splashing all over you. Don't ask me how I know that. So now we get to the final part before we do the assembly, and that's micro meshing. And that's going to smooth this all out. You know, there's a very fine roughness to it, which is normal. So that is going to smooth it all out as I go through all 9 stages. It's not cumbersome or anything. It's fairly quick, and it really makes a big difference. So let's go through that really quick. That is also at 500 RPM. And what I do with these is I blow them out as I go along with air. The first 2 are sort of like your regular sandpaper. This is where you're going to do the most micro meshing. You can see the whiteness coming out. Put that there. So that's looking good. We'll go to the next one. And I don't have the grits for these memorized. I know it starts at like 1200 and goes up to 2200, I think. I'm not certain. I just know it works.
Jeff, I see you're doing yours dry. I've always done mine wet.
I never do wood wet. I've had problems with the water infiltrating from the ends and totally ruining it. So
okay.
If I do acrylic, I'll do it wet. And I've never had a problem doing it dry. I go about halfway and I just slip the micro mesh over so I'm getting fresh grit.
And I see you don't use non-stick bushings either.
What was that?
I see you're not using non-stick bushings either.
No. I use those sometimes on the bigger, thicker pens because I find when I use those, I have to do some work on the ends of the blades to get the excess off. And that's not necessarily a problem. It's just something that I don't feel like doing.
Okay.
So she's not shiny yet, but she's getting there. I'm up at pad number 4. Pad 5. And these are the 4x6 piece of mesh that I buy. They're like $30 now, so I cut them in half and I have 2 sets. Like everything else, it's getting crazy in price. Okay, for the final 4, Mark Soleil once said in the video that the human eye can't pick up a scratch any greater than 800 grit. And he's right. So what I do is, even though I'm going back and forth with a micro mesh and doing lengthwise, I'm doing that more for cleaning up than anything else. So from this point on, 6 through 9, I am not going to be going with the grain. I'm just going to be doing the circular only. And this part's really fast. And I hope you can start seeing the shine coming through as I'm doing this. 6. 7. 8. Pressing firmly, but not real hard, because you can very quickly ruin micro mesh by putting too much pressure on it and heating it up. Can you see the shine coming out?
Yeah, you can start to see the light bar coming across on it.
Yep. So I'm going to turn off the compressor because I'm really not going to need it now. One more step before we do assembly, and that's buffing. I used to use the Hut plastic polish, which is a great product. If I was in a jam, I would still use it. But I started using the Penn State buffing system, which I think it's just nicer to work with because I don't have the stuff kind of splashing out at me. And the huts will tend to pick up blackness from the bushings, and I don't have to worry with that. So I'm going to switch over real quick to the buffing system. And this uses a blue jeweler's rouge. So now this I'm going to do at 1,250 RPMs also. Simply because the wheels are so small. They're only like 4 inches. So I'm going to get some rouge on. You don't need a lot. I pick a spot that's easy to tell where I'm starting at. That's going to be right there. And I just start gently working it up. All the way down, turn up just a little bit, and come back down. Everybody's got their own unique way of doing this. I saw a person who motorized the spinning of the pen. I don't think that's really necessary, but hopefully now you can really see the shine popping. This makes all the difference in the world.
That's an interesting way to polish them.
Yeah.
On the mandrel.
This is how I've always done it. And this is just kind of cleans off any excess dust. There you have it. Their turn. Beautiful. Now we're moving on to the assembly. And I've never done assembly here on my lathe. So it ought to be interesting. Step that there. Okay. So let's move this just a little bit. There we go. Okay, we don't need that. This is the Penn State assembly and disassembly sled. Disassembly, I'm not crazy about, but it works great as a assembly. Now, one thing we talked about last week, and that was you can tell when you have a real slimline kit because the tubes are already scuffed for you by Penn State. A lot of companies buy Penn State's Funline kits, and then they market them as slimlines. And what happens is when you go to assemble it, when you put the nib down into the hole that's on this, it leaves a dimple, which you don't want. So what I do then is, this is the Funline kit that we're doing tonight. So I put it up on the end here. Get rid of these. So I don't dimple it. So we're going to go through that process now. Get the parts out. I've just taken the blanks off the mandrel. So this is the bottom one. We're going to put the nib in first. So I'm just going to hold it into place. Bring this down just a little bit. And so the nib is not going into the hole. It's on this. And press it in. And there it is. Now the next thing we're going to do, and I just realized something. Bear with me for a second. This kit was missing a refill, which I need next. Probably because I used it on another kit that it was bad. The mechanism for making the refill go in and out is called the transmission. And these are got a lot of heavy grease on them and they're real stiff. So I like to work them back and forth till they get a little warm and they're easier to work with. Okay, then I stop in the closed position. I'm going to bring this out a little bit more.
Hey, Jeff, this is Sue. How come you didn't use the hole in that silicone piece of the press? You said you went onto the side rather than put the nib in the hole.
Right, because when you go into the hole, this is a Funline kit. It's not a Slimline, so it's a thinner metal. And when you press it in with it in the hole, you're going to get a dimple all the way around there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. And you can't explain that off of the design. So, and that makes this part a little tricky because the hole is not capturing it. So what we want to do is we want to get this, it's going to be roughly right even with that line when we're done. But sometimes blanks are off by a 1/16 of an inch. And so I take it so far and then I use the refill to determine where the stopping point is. So I'm going to go up to there, put the refill in. We're not there yet. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's not coming out. So we're going to go back. We're a little better.
Almost.
Almost there. So I think I'm going to be safe to go to the line. That's the nice thing with the Funline, the Slimline test is they give you some leeway. There we go. Okay, that's right where I want it. So I'm going to set that there. Now we're going to put the top on.
Jeff, what do you do when you press it in too far?
Then I have to use disassembly punches. I have to start out with a very thin one that I run in through here, and I put it at an angle so it catches the collar on this one, and I tap it with a hammer to knock it out. And that can be a job sometimes. And then I start over again. Well, I take that back. I knock this out, then I get one that fits just inside of the tube, and I knock the transmission out, and then we start all over again. So.
Always throw them away.
Oh. Well, that's another thing too. If you got a blank that chips on you and goes bad, I just turn it off, clean up the tube, and I'm ready to go again. So now we're going to put the top on. This is a satin finish on this one. And I'm just going to kind of pick a spot. And since this is the only real dark area here, I'm going to put it right there. This is something too that if you've got a little mark or something right there, you can put that over it and it'll hide it. So let's get this on, get this in place, line it all up, and press. Okay, now I want to match up my drain. Before I do that, let's put the band on first. So there's my dark area. There we go. I think that's going to be it. Push it on. By golly, got it. There you go. A finished slimline pen.
Yeah, look at that.
Nice.
So let me go over here to the computer, and then I'll take any questions that you have.
Dane was asking about the disassembly. Dane, I've got a whole set of punches that I got from PSI that goes from the smallest punch you'll ever need to the biggest punch. And I also have a special wrench that comes with it that's padded so that you can hold the pen without damaging the blank.
Yeah, this is what he's talking about.
Okay, yeah, I don't have the wrench, but I've got the transfer punches.
So the disassembly.
Show that again. Show that again, Jeff. Okay,
right
how does that work? How does that work?
It's basically like a crescent wrench. You adjust the size, and it holds onto the body.
Bring it up higher. Bring it up higher.
Okay. Hold onto the body like that, and then you can run your punch in from the other side and tap it with a hammer.
Right on.
And relieve it and have it come back out.
Yep. When you're done, you just relieve it like not crescent wrench, channel locks. They're like a set of channel locks.
Yeah. Right.
And this is what he was talking about for the punches. Was this?
Right. Transfer punches.
And they're all the different sizes and everything. You'll find there's 4, maybe 5 that you'll use all the time. So,
makes a good paperweight.
Yeah,
that's what mine.
Now the disassembly portion of the sled, they've got it set up with a piece of surgical rubber tubing that you put the blank into, then you lock it down with the thumb screws, and then you push the punch through with it. The problem I find with that is there's no room for this to float. And more times than not, that just breaks right off. It comes out, but it's broken off. So that's why I went back to using the old style. So anybody got any questions about the process or anything?
Not about the process. You're very enjoyable. But you know what? What you glued up, at the beginning, they're probably dried right now. So why don't you just make another pen?
I can do that if you want. I mean, it's going to take probably another hour.
But yeah,
I'm good with it.
All night.
And actually, this is a sold pen already. I sold it yesterday, and I said you just got to let me turn it first. So
congrats.
Yeah, I'm only goofing with you. No, I just pay
That's
attention.
okay.
Like, hey, look,
Cool.
it was over half hour ago. You said it's 30-minute, epoxy. That's all I'm saying. I was just goofing around.
Oh, okay. I get it now. I'm
Hey,
slow.
I really enjoyed the article on how you price your pens. It's about the same way I do.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the article. Thank you.
It basically boils down to you got to know your market.
Right.
You're never going to recoup your
anything.
And that's why, I have made so many slimline pens. I've got the whole process. If I don't stop, except for just waiting for the glue to dry, I can take it down to 35 minutes and I've got it done, you know. So that's why I sell these at $25 a piece. These attract people in who start looking at the $45, $65, and $75 pens.
Right.
See, I like working with the trim line rather than the slim line.
Trim line's a little thicker in here, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can actually make a trim line with a slimline kit. It's called a modified slimline. That's the only way I make them.
Well, because the trim lines, I think they're priced more affordable than even the slim lines. You have to buy them in a kit, but
right.
But I like the trim lines.
Well, one thing you can do too is if you got a slim line, you can make it into a trim line by using a piece of wood in here that's turned to size, or a piece of corian that blends in well with it. You could do it that way. The trick is you're going to want the bushings for the trim line because the center bushing is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I have. So
yeah.
But
you can even
good demo.
Thank you.
You can even mill your own hardware using brass and aluminum, and you can turn it on. You can turn it on the lathe.
I've seen people doing that. Yeah.
Calipers are your friends.
Yep. Right. And I have a lot of kits from my early days that were failures, and so I just kept all the parts from the kit that was left over, and I have a whole slew of things to choose from if something goes bad.
Yeah. So yeah, good idea.
So
including I've had customers come up to me in shows and say, my pocket clip broke off. So I said, well, leave it with me. I'll put a new one on for such and such a price. No. I've had a few of those repairs.
Oh boy, shrewd guy.
Can I tell you what I do that is very popular?
Sure.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. Number one, it is a great, I have success in selling. I use Purple Heart for the body of the pen for the Wounded Warriors. And I use the slimline kit, but I buy the Comfort gold ring for the middle because it's a little bit fatter. It doesn't come down so slim. And then I buy the American flag clips. And people buy them for the Wounded Warriors because that's what they get. They get a Purple Heart Award.
Right. That's a great idea. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Where do you get the clip at? I guess Amazon.
No, go to Wood Turnings. Wood TURNINGZ. He's got the little extra gold and silver rings for the middle for the Comfort pen, and he's got all kinds of different clips. But again, I love to put that American flag on there, and people buy that as a gift for their wounded warriors.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea.
Jeff, why do you, I know it's just your preference, but why do you choose to use the CA glue instead of the Parfex, or have you tried the Parfex?
I tried the Parfex a couple years ago, and I've not done much with it since then. I still have some, as a matter of fact, and I may start experimenting with that because one of the things I'm finding when I'm doing outdoor art fairs, there's no way to keep the sun off your bowls and vases and stuff. There's just no way to do it. And with wax, it damages it. I end up having to rebuff them every single time.
I think she's
So,
talking about Parfix.
yeah, Parfex 3408.
No,
Yeah.
we don't use the
Oh,
34.
just the regular brand Parfex?
No, we use the 3460. It's got 45 centipoids, so it'll soak into the wood, right? But it won't soak down into the bushings. The 3408 is so thin sometimes it'll go in less than a thousandth of a crack, so it can soak down into the bushings, and then it would seize up. I only use 3 coats. Then I do the 400 and 800 and 800 random orbit, and that's it. Then you just buff it with the EEE Ultra Shine, and it's like glass.
Oh, okay.
Another
The
thing
only
that
reason I
yeah,
the only
another
reason I haven't used it is because I've just been using this forever.
well, that's
The
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
But a
matter
lot
of
of
fact, I met
Abracadabra.
the folks here in Troy from Parfax. I was over at their offices one time.
Well,
Very nice people.
yes, they are.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are sensitive unless you have the odorless
Yeah.
glue. And another thing that I like about it is the fact that most people, you mentioned something that was very, very, very important for every wood turner out there.
Mhm.
You said stay back when you spray your
Yep.
little accelerator. People
Yep.
get up so close and they spray the living devil out of this thing.
Yep.
All you need is just a little and that's it. That was so important
Yeah.
that
You get
everybody should mention, because what happens as soon as you put a little bit of accelerator on, just a touch, that is a chain reaction. The polymerization goes from molecule to molecule. And if they put, and here's the problem, if they put too much accelerator on there, most of the people are using just a regular accelerator that's acetone based. So what are they doing? They're dissolving the very super glue they're trying to make. If you use a heptane-based accelerator, you never have that problem. And that's why the surgeons use it, because they have to make sure that the integrity of that glue is not going to be compromised in surgery.
Yeah.
So,
And it's even more important to keep your distance if you're using the pump accelerators.
well, yeah, either way, yeah, but you got to stay back.
Yeah.
And just
Very
put a little, just put a little, but it'll all take care of it.
Yeah.
You know,
And I learned that the hard way myself. I had a lot of pens that were coming out looking really ugly when I first started doing CA work. And
but one of the things that brand new turners do, right, is they just automatically assume this and assume that.
yeah.
You really need to get your methodology down and stay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of them depend on YouTube videos, and there's so much bad information being shown out there.
Yes, there is.
I've seen a lot of guys spraying their accelerator and they're 2 inches from the thing and they're just going up and down it.
Right. And if it's acetone based, they wonder why they get a blotchy result.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't gas out completely before you put the next coat on, that gas is going to be under there and it's going to leave you a shiny and a dull spot. And another thing, you mentioned another thing that was extremely important, right? Don't jam and this sandpaper. Keep a little air floating underneath. Oh my gosh, that is so important because, and they will not clean up their sandpaper. They load it up, and then what they're doing is they're starting to get so much heat that they actually melt the acrylic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because super glue is acrylic when it dries.
Yeah. And micro mesh itself will fail very quickly if you heat it up.
Yep.
You know, it's not made for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I burnt my first set of micro mesh up.
Well, I personally, right, this is just me personally, right? You can use the micro mesh, but me personally, I never use it. Once I do my 800 random orbit, it's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a lot of stuff, and it looks just like glass, but it's okay. You know, I mean, you did a good demonstration, but you brought out some things. The reason I'm reinforcing that is so that people understand that, you know, you've got to do this in an organized manner every single time you do that.
Yeah.
And if you do it the same way every single time, you know something, you have a thing called success.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're putting it together, right? Yes, always test that. Make sure you can always put one more little tiny press and get that ball point out there just right. They just gonna slam into it, and then they got to use this deconstruction stuff and all that. That's crazy. But yeah, you did a very good demonstration.
Well,
Now,
thank you. That means a lot to me, Mark.
And then
I think
I'll
it's important because the demonstration is the teach. That's what it's all about. So I think it's important to get all those little tips and everything in there.
Now, the only one thing that I do, right, that was a little bit different on these things, after I take the pieces off of the mandrel and go to put them back together, before I assemble, I always put a piece of like 400 grit sandpaper on the ways of my lathe so that it's nice and flat. And I hold that in my fingers and I do a little bit of circular around and around at 90 degrees. That takes any little burrs or anything off before I put the pieces together so that the wood is always clean. There's not a little burr or something hanging over so that it always goes really tight to the little metal piece. That's the only thing different.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Very good idea.
I have a question, Mark.
Yep, go ahead.
What?
I was in a wood turning class over the weekend, and one of the questions was they had 3408, but it got thick on them, and they didn't know if there was anything out there to thin their 3408, or should they just buy new?
If it's already been compromised, right? The reason that super glue, right? Well, I'll just say this. Okay, all super glue doesn't make any difference whether it's 3408 or a regular. People do not put the cap on the super glue when they spray accelerator. If one molecule of accelerator gets down the nozzle, it's a chain reaction. It's going to harden up, right? Number two, right, is if you have any dust, right, or, you know, sanding dust that gets down the nozzle, right, it can start, especially if it's spalted wood, you know, the fungus spores are faster than any accelerator on the planet. So things can get compromised. So always keep your super glue. Just make it a habit of put your cap on your super glue.
Mark, it was Cindy. She said she got this 3408 from you eons ago, and it's been sitting in her shop and it got thick. So she was asking everybody, what do you do if it's gotten thick on you? Evidently she hasn't used it much.
I was going to say, right. Well, I went to one guy's shop and he had it for 3 years, right? And it still worked just fine. But most of the time, it's contamination, or it had extreme temperatures,
All right.
or she left it open for a while and it got moisture in it.
Yeah,
Moisture affects all super glue.
Well, Cindy Rose just said
Water is a catalyst for super glue.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sue, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Jeff, can I ask you a question?
No, Sue needs to finish. Al, Sue needs to finish first, okay? Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought she was. I'm sorry.
Cindy Drozda said she'd get a hold of you because she probably needs another bottle since that one's gotten thick on her.
Well, I hope she ain't going to ask for a refund.
I know it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
She left the bottle cap off and had it cured up on her.
Well, she just said that she grabbed it to look at it. It was really thick. So whatever.
Yep. Right.
Well, I never used the 3408 on pens. I use the 3460 and I eliminate the wicking problem. Right. And that's 45 centipoids rather than 5. And you can put the 3408 on there, and then a lot of people will put the 900 because it's 100 centipoids. The last two, they'll use the 3408 to seal it, then they'll use the 900 to do the 2 build-up coats, and that's all you need, So, but anyway, everybody has their own stuff, but I still have that, and I have the heptane-based accelerator. I try to never have a large bottle of the super glue on the lathe near open. I always use the little tiny bottles. I keep the larger bottles sealed, and I always keep the tiny bottle because I have students here. They leave things open, they tip things over, and they spill it, and I don't want to compromise a great big, like 8-ounce bottle of it.
Hey, Mark, do those students, when they knock stuff over, do they have a flat spot on the back of their head?
Or should they?
They should. If they don't, they should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Al had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking when you at the very beginning when you used the Play-Doh. So the little bit of the oil, I guess, went into the shaft, and as you were putting the glue in and stuff. Well, no. What I'm really thinking is when you were assembling it, so there was a little bit of like an oil fill inside of the shaft. Is that the reason why you used the Play-Doh when you were assembling it?
No. When I'm gluing the tubes in, I push the tube into the Play-Doh to create a plug because I'm pushing that back and forth, and I don't want the epoxy to go inside my tube. It can be cleaned out. It's a royal pain in the butt, though.
Yes.
Right.
Matter of fact, I have a reaming tool that I use sometimes will take care of any that might slip in. But I've actually taken a rat tail file times to clean it out.
A lot of people.
I didn't understand why you were using it.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was explained in the part that I didn't record. So.
Yeah, a lot of people just use a potato. They put the brass tube in a potato as a plug. And I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to interfere with your demo or anything. You did a good job, right? There's another thing that I learned, right? And I use all the time now because I used to have to, sometimes when you drill some of the woods, you'll get a little bit of wavering in the wood, so you have space where the tube goes in. I overcame that very simply, right? The only thing I use now is Gorilla Glue, right? When you put the Gorilla Glue in there, you have to wet the tube with a little water. Then you just, twirl it around with the Gorilla Glue. Then I never have to worry about the tube being loose in the hole that I drilled because the Gorilla Glue expands and it comes out both ends. And then you just take it off with your fingernail and you put it on your mandrel. But the Gorilla Glue expands, you have to wait overnight.
Yeah. I generally do anyways, whether I'm using CA or epoxy. I give it 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I have, when I was drilling my blanks on a drill press, I had a lot of times where there was a lot of slop when I with a tube. Since I switched over to drilling on the lathe, I've not had any of that. It's been a tight fit.
Absolutely. The only thing I do is drill on the lathe. And another real quick thing, if you ever use acrylics, before I ever drill an acrylic blank, I always put super glue on the exit end. I put super glue on the exit end, and then when the drill goes through, it goes through absolutely clean, and it never chips out when it gets to the end.
That's a good idea.
Because you're then going into just that dab of super glue.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I do when I'm turning acrylics, when I'm drilling them out, I'm using an acrylic drill bit, which is a point. I use that same process that I use when I'm drilling out wood so that I don't get a blowout on the end. I take it down to just that last eighth of an inch, and I very gently turn the handle on my tailstock and just take it in very slowly.
Yeah, but I've had some of a problem on some of those acrylics will chip out.
Oh, the really cheap ones, like the fun line acrylics. Yeah, they not only chip out real easy, they smell like horses' hooves when you turn them. So my son goes nuts when I turn them.
You guys that have problems drilling accurately on your drill press, you guys know a drill press was actually designed to, for finite precision holes to be drilled and stuff. You can actually set your drill press up to drill straight.
Well, it's
just saying.
Here's what happened. This is just my experience. That's all I can speak from, right? Is that when I go on the drill press, I'm, fairly accurate. But I'll tell you what, I just found out that I just put it in the small jaw chuck. It's tight. It doesn't waver, right? At all. And boom, it just goes right through.
And the piece itself is turning.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've had problems drilling on the on the drill press, and so what I've done is I do it on the lathe, and I was using the 4-jaw one-way chucks, and I found that some of my blanks weren't perfectly square because I don't cut my own as a rule, and I bought the Nova jaws, and they have there's only 2 jaws, and they have a rounded over section, so it'll only grab on 2 of the corners, and they work really well.
Yeah.
The one question I had for you though, I noticed you didn't put a center point on your blank. Do you find that to be a problem?
Center point on my blank.
Like
you
when
mean
when you're going to start drilling? Yeah.
No. That was probably the case when I did when I drilled on the drill press. But here on the lathe, everything's lined up anyways. That's why it's very important to have the tailstock and the headstock lined up perfectly.
Okay. Hey. Oh, thank you.
One thing I did want to point out, because I mentioned this while I was working on it, and that is, I stopped an eighth of an inch from the bushings, and I create this kind of thicker area in the center. I've learned when I first started turning pens, they teach you, you want it flush. with the bushings across. So it looks like a thin pen that's been around forever.
Yeah,
My
looks like a
customers come
cross.
back and told me they like the thicker. They like the thicker when they write a lot. It's not as much strain on their hand. So that's why I
Right.
make them all like this now. I got 3 or 4 for the people that like thinner ones because they're out there. But this is the majority of them. So that's why I do it that way.
Yeah, it's a nice
And that was the
profile. It
process
doesn't
of
look like a
learning
roller
itself
skate.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like a pregnant pen. It's great.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of people they just fall in love with what the wood or the acrylic looks like, and they're afraid to take that extra wood off, and you get stuck with that obtuse barreled pen or the single barrel. It's just huge. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I use that comfort ring on the slimline kit. It doesn't go down as to the what I call the
Right.
wasp effect.
Yeah. I used to work at a company called Flagstar Bank in their IT department. And I got called up to the executive in charge of retail one day, and I went in his office with all this fine furniture and everything. He's got a plastic pen about this long and about that big around, and he's writing with that. And I go, why are you using a pen like that? He goes, I have arthritis real bad. It's the only pen I can really write with without any pain. And I go, I'm going to make you a pen. He goes, you make pens? And I go, yeah, I'll make you a pen. So I made him a pen with a nice piece of rosewood that had this little thin red line going down it from 1 year of its life. It got attacked by fungus. And it was just the coolest thing in the world. And I made it into out of a cigar kit, a cigar pen kit. And I made the body where he's holding it extra wide. And I ran into him like 3 years later. He was still using that. He loved that pen.
There you go.
Didn't help when they got rid of everybody.
No, it didn't. I used to bank there, and I was bummed when the bank went away when it got bought. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a horrible situation now. My wife retired from there a couple years ago because it's gotten so bad, and you're going to be hearing about, and not to get into all kinds of stuff outside, but you'll be hearing about them in the news soon. Bad
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I heard about the sale coming, I bailed. So it was like, there's 1,000 banks in this city.
Yeah.
Not
No,
gonna,
we bailed too.
not gonna.
Yeah, we bailed
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I used to make these standing pens. They had like an inch wide disc at the bottom, and they were longer, and you'd set them on the table and they'd stand up on this disc. I don't know, I made 30 of them or something at one point. And it was basically a slimline, but the back end where you would have the I don't know, the end cap or whatever.
That there?
It was, yeah, that bit. It was about an inch in diameter, a
Oh,
brass
okay.
disc. And it was one of the things I liked about, and I don't remember what they called it, but one of the things I liked about it is it gave you a lot more territory to do things like artistically express yourself on the pen. It was a much bigger pen. So it was fun.
That's a cool idea.
Just as a quick,
Cool idea until you set your arm down on it and forget it was there. I had one of those.
Just as
and it made me talk in tongue on several occasions.
No, just as a quick note, even after the stroke and everything that I've had, I still ship the Parfix medical products all over this United States. So I carry the 2-ounce bottles and I carry the 8-ounce bottles. And so, and anything, just people write me or call me, and there's no problem. We'll ship it right out.
Do you know if there's a Canadian distributor for that Parfix, Mark?
No, there isn't.
I'm sure there's somebody over there. I mean, I ship to Michael Hoslick all the time, and so it's.
I haven't been able to find one. And when you order from Canada, it costs you more for the border fees than it does to buy the Parfix. So
yeah,
that's why I asked.
Well, it's crazy because when Trump put up this tariff stuff, I get this Vonex is made in Germany. I import it from England, right? And it costs me 3 times as much for the import tax and tariff than it did for the product.
Yeah.
But it's a good product, you know. So.
I
But anyway,
didn't want to start something, but I just wanted to ask. So,
but anyway, you brought up a lot of good points in your demo. I appreciate that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And it
That
facilitated
means
a
a
lot
lot
of
to me,
good
Mark.
points from Mark
Definitely want to
as
say
well.
it was a very enjoyable evening, Jeff. Believe me,
Thank
very
you.
enjoyable. People
See, pen
say
turning can be
just
fun.
pens, but no, you brought it all out.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is this is the first full on nuts to bolts pen turning demo we've had in the last 6 years. We've had some 3-sided pens. We've had some other crazy stuff with pens, but just doing a basic pen start to finish. Great job, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Very,
Thank you.
very
That's
enjoyable.
things that when I was learning drove me crazy on YouTube. Everybody started out
Right?
with a blank already made up, and I was trying to figure out how they did that.
Yeah, good old YouTube. The Turners on there, they want to show you part of it, and then it's like, oh, magic. They skip 5 steps and like, oh, look what I got. I got a masterpiece. You're like,
Yeah,
okay.
and then
You
another
didn't go
line
from there to here.
was use your
Yeah.
favorite finish. Well, what the hell? What is that?
Right?
I don't have
Yeah.
a favorite.
Yeah.
Nice job.
You guys want to see a picture of that fat pen I did?
Sure.
Okay. I went and found it. It's an old picture and it's not very good, but there it is. It's one on the top up here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just
So it was designed
hot
to stand on the flat end on the table straight up.
Yeah.
oh,
Did you name that one Hotspot?
I don't name my stuff, but anyway, yeah, there's some of my other pen designs just from when I was making
Well,
them.
no,
actually, Matt,
when you write and you got those frillies, they make hot spots on your hand. They're not comfortable to write with. They look cool, but they're not
Well, some
comfortable
of
to
them
write
are.
with.
I mean, you got this big flat bit here, which is where everybody holds it by, right? But
Yeah.
everybody likes different stuff. Everybody holds their
Yeah.
pens differently and prefers different things. So anyway, thanks. I just wanted
Very
to
cool,
share.
Matt.
Now,
Thanks, Matt.
Are all these slim lines that you're showing, Matt?
No, here, let me go back to it. The
I'm
fat
just
one
saying,
is
you can make a slim line look anyway. I mean, you can.
yeah. All the rest of these are all
anything.
the other three. The bottom three here are all slimline, but this one up top was a different kit. And I don't remember. Like I said, it was years and years ago, and I don't remember what they called it. It was 15 years ago or whatever.
Yes,
I made this.
you can make a slim line look any way you want.
Yep, you can.
Yeah.
So there's some other folks in the chat who had some pens to show if we want to show them. So I haven't been really keeping track.
Yeah, let's go look at ink pens.
Thanks a lot for sharing, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Al.
No, believe me, it was very enjoyable.
Great
job, Billy.
I just realized what this wood is. It's a Hoyoba. That's
Okay.
what it is from South America.
Very cool. Thanks,
Right,
Jeff.
Billy's got one. Thanks, Jeff. Great demo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Billy's got one.
This is what I was referring to as a modified slimline. This is a slimline pen.
Mm-hmm.
And the diameter here, there's no center band. I don't use center bands on most of my slimlines anymore. The diameter here is about 3/8 of an inch. The diameter here is about a 1/2 inch. So typically you get a straight coming down this one because of the material. I added a little grippy thing to it to make it a little more comfortable, but this is actually true stone malachite. It's some of the hardest stuff I've ever turned, but that's a modified slimline. And I put a link to one of my YouTube videos showing you how to make one of these without this, of course. But they're simple to make. They feel better in the hand. I hate those little skinny cross pins. They don't fit me well. They fit some people fine. They don't fit me well. So as a rule, I quit making them. And most people have gravitated toward these when they're selecting pins that I've got set up to show. So
it's very classy. That's a great pen, Billy.
Another way to make a cheap pen kit into a little less cheap looking pen.
It still pulls apart, right? Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Can I show you guys how not to do a pen?
Well, we got some other folks in the list here, so
Okay. Yeah.
let's
Okay.
get to them first here.
Okay.
Leonard says he's got one to show. So hey, Leonard, what you got?
So this one here is a Osage orange.
Nice.
Nice looking pen.
And then I did a spalted Trinidad.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
And then that one I did a matching letter opener.
Oh,
nice.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Is that like gunmetal? What's the material?
Yeah, this one's a gunmetal. Yes.
Cool. Very cool. Okay.
Love it.
That's what I got.
Thank you, Leonard. And Brenda's got something to show.
All right, look right here. The first pen I ever made. This is what got me started in wood turning. This one I made, 7 years ago at a woodworking show before I ever had any kind of tools. And it's loose up here. Yep, that spins. And it's got a mark around here from the pocket clip going around it. And there's no finish on it. Like I said, I made it at the woodworking show in Columbus. And we just turned it and I also lasered my name on it too.
And you caught the bug, eh?
Yep. This was what started it all right here.
The gateway drug.
It sits right here on my desk.
That's
right
great.
here. I
Gateway
use it
drug.
every Wednesday night to make my notes.
I don't know who spoke up earlier. But if you've got something to show, please.
That's the
let us
most
know in chat.
expensive pen in the world, too, now, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Please let us know in chat if you've got something else you'd like to show.
Okay.
Hey, I got my
Great
first,
demo, Jeff.
Let's go back to Scott now then.
let's go back to me. I got my very first pen that I ever made.
Oh boy.
I just pulled out of my tray.
Which one? We go into the Selly one? Is that where you want to be?
No, you can do
This
that.
one here?
Whichever.
Yep.
Nice.
Cool.
Straight wall. I mean, just straight. But that was my first ever ink pen. Actually, it's a pencil. Yep.
And how many years ago was that?
2008.
Wow.
Still works too. It's the only click pencil that ever worked.
18
And I
years
guess
ago?
while I'm still here. So here's an absolute piece of dog shit. In case y'all didn't know what a piece of dog shit looked like that comes off the lathe. So the bowl was fine, but once I did the pedestal didn't come out the way I wanted it to. It's entirely too big and gangly. My beads are great. Fillets are great.
So return it.
But
It's still kind of works, Stan. I mean, I like it. I mean,
yeah,
I do too.
Well, my wife says it works. It looks good. Other people say that, and I don't know. In my eye, I'm going to wind up taking it back off and rework it.
Well, all right. So tell us this: if you don't like it,
it's only my second. It's only my second piece. Since making those rings, and then I made that. So
all right. So tell us how you would change it if you were doing it the next time. How are you going to change that?
Oh, it would definitely be a hell of a lot smaller. It's just out of proportion.
Half size.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you make it more delicate? I mean, I like the base size.
Yeah, I like the width of the base.
And the base is even. It could come down 1/4 of an inch in diameter. but
Okay.
the top beaded pedestal, it's too thick. So, and it just needs to be cleaner and smaller and more delicate.
Gotcha. Okay.
That
Thank
doesn't
you.
look like any dog shit I've ever stepped in, Dan.
You know, but this was a piece of hackberry, and so I'd never turned hackberry, but man, you know, it was all nice straight grain. There was no cracks in it, but man, as soon as I started turning it, or at least I was told it was hackberry. As soon as I started turning it, man, you know, cracks just started opening up on it everywhere. But yeah, anyway, I'm working on a canteen now.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Dane. Todd's got a pen.
Show.
Please put it in chat. I don't know who you are.
That's so my first pen here, zebra wood, I believe.
It looks like Zebrano.
Dave, Dane had put a question in Facebook. What got you into turning? And of course, like Brenda was just saying, this was the beginning of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into a woodcraft store to buy hardware for the rails of a bed I was making my son. The guy working in there said, "What are you doing for the next hour?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, let's make a pen." So I left with a lathe and pen tools and whatever.
He did his job.
He did his job.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but you know, my mom got all the first of everything I ever made, and so here at the house, you know, this was sitting over there on the shelf yet. My first pen, my first bowl, my first pepper grinder, all that, every first that I ever did on the lathe was at my mom's house.
How many years ago was that?
Let's see, my son was probably 17 years.
Wow.
16, 17 years ago. And I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, you know, he taught me, we roughed the blank round with a roughing gouge, and then he handed me a skew and showed me how to use a skew. And so for the first 200 pens or something I ever made, I used a roughing gouge and a skew.
Wow.
And then when my knees started to get bad, and I had watched a lot of Captain Eddie videos and carbide tools were getting big, I bought some carbides and then had to basically pack up my shop where I didn't have my grinders and all that stuff available for sharpening and everything. I basically, for 6 or 7 years, because I could just barely even stand out there doing work, I used the carbides, and then I never went back to the skew. And so now, if I picked up a skew, I'd probably just, you know, tear something up with it. But little disappointed in myself now, 10 years later or whatever, for putting the skew down and picking up the carbide.
Time to practice with a skew.
Right?
You'll skew up a few things, but it comes back like riding a bicycle.
Yep. You can pick it back up. All right, let's try and get everybody else in here.
Remember, folks, we're still collecting pins for the Freedom Pins Project. We've got designated folks across the U.S. for all 5 branches plus ICE for getting pins to the people that are out there protecting us. So we got the information on the website. I'll grab the website link here in a minute and post it in the chat.
All right, thanks, Dane. So Dale's got a pen.
I've got a couple I can show. Here's one. This one, the blank was one of the blanks that came with my Turncrafter. So I've had this pen for 18 years, maybe. 2008, I think it was. I got my Turncrafter.
Yeah. Is it Paduke?
It's either Paduke or Crocobolo.
Okay. Because I know when I got mine, they gave me Paduke, a bunch of pre-drilled blanks.
Yeah, that I got both Paduke and Cocobolo with it.
Okay.
Well, the Paduke will be kind of reddish colored, and the Cocobolo will be brown.
Yeah,
Well,
but the Paduke turns dark brown over the years.
Oh, does it?
This is a dark brown. It's been in my pen carrying box, but I got more pens than that. And now this is a pen that I think it's a cigar pen, but I'm not sure. And this one, I actually cast the blank myself.
Oh, nice.
I don't
Yeah,
buy
that's nice with
acrylic
cigar
blanks
pens.
anymore. I cast them myself. And I do not have a pressure pot, so I use Alumilite's amazing clear cast that has a long working time.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And whenever you cast a blank, you have to remember that you can't turn that blank or do anything with it for at least a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're not using a pressure pot.
Well, even when you're using a pressure pot, any castings you can't turn for at least a week because it won't be fully cured. It won't be fully cured for at least a week.
Hey,
Not for a pen
hey,
blank.
guys. Hey,
great.
Jeff.
Yeah.
The very first time that I ever turned anything was also a pen, like everyone is saying. A person showed me a pen, and I said, "Wow, how'd you do that?" And he said to me, "You know what? You wouldn't understand." So I tried to figure out, and I found out. So I went to Woodcraft, and I said to the guy, I said, "When I walk out of here, would you be okay if you gave me and sold me everything that I need to make a pen?" So no. Best thing that ever happened to me. And he got me the mandrel, and he brought up on the computer directions how to make a 7mm pen, how you drill through, and everything that you said tonight, everything that you did tonight. And the one thing he sold me was this drill press, this drill.
Oh, yes.
And
Barrel
It's an
trimmer.
end mill.
Barrel
It's a
trimmer. Yeah.
barrel
trimmer.
trimmer.
End mill. Yeah.
That's what he gave me. And it's like, and it's where I need to be.
Did he tell you how to sharpen it?
No, it's never been sharpened ever. No, he was
Yeah.
he was an older guy, and he took care of me, and that's the way I want to believe it, and that's the way I remember it. But yeah, that was okay. So then you guys know what it is, then, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I started
it's a
out
barrel
using
trimmer.
one of
Barrel
those.
trimmer.
Yep. Makes the end of your
All right,
blanks.
very cool. Thanks, Al. So we've got Sue has got a pen to show also.
Hi guys. I don't know if this will translate, but that's some of the ones that I've made.
Ooh.
There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
But this is my
Very,
favorite.
very nice.
You were saying about a thick pen. I like a chunky monkey pen because I have
Yeah.
arthritis. So and I think this is a Gatsby Click from PSI. I don't remember.
It looks
Actually, it looks like a groove.
very nice.
That's
Yeah,
my
very
favorite.
nice.
Thanks.
Very nice. Yeah.
I use a
Thank you,
I
Sue.
use a junior,
Classy looking.
I use a Junior Aaron roller ball.
Okay.
That's my everyday carry.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
Let's
Lost my
see.
safe up here.
So this is
Oh,
my
nice.
writing pen. This is what I
Yeah.
use when I'm doing World Wiede Wood Turners accounting stuff. So, but I've had this for
Forever.
yeah, it's at least 15 years old. And I use Lazar Schmidt.
What
Lazar,
kit is that
It's a Junior Aaron.
from? Because I've never heard of it.
Probably Turner's Warehouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't tell what that is.
No,
Dave.
no. It's
What is that on the end you're showing us?
It's from it's got a fake gold something or other. I used to be able to see it. I can't see it anymore. I have to get the magnifying glass to tell you exactly what it is because my vision's going out. I have my glasses.
You were
It's from
showing. I couldn't
from,
see.
Billy. It's from Classic Deb.
Okay.
Now it's minus.
Beautiful.
Cool. All right, thanks.
Nice.
And Scott's got one.
Penn State's broad will.
So I'll show you two. Oh, it's not big.
Beautiful.
It could be any pen.
You made a couple of them too, ain't you?
You could be somebody on the street corner of New York City. Hey, you want to buy a pen? Hey, you want to buy a pen?
You're
muted, Scott. Muted, Scott.
Nope, still muted.
All we can see are the lips moving.
Still muted.
Yeah, he wasn't saying anything nice right there.
Read lips.
Yep. Says, well, shit, come back.
But it's
I don't know. I don't know what you got going on with your microphone, but we can't hear you, buddy.
Hit your space bar or slap up the side of the computer.
Does that actually work, Sue?
Who knows? But he's evidently.
That's right.
Let us know when you get it fixed out. We're going to go over to Sue, Safety Sue, who said she has a pen too.
Yeah, let's
you got a pen, Sue?
More.
What I wanted to show you was a picture of the first pen that I ever did.
Oh, look at us.
And you can see, and this was a fun line pen. And I wanted it a little bit fatter down here. And then it just gave it a little bit of a decoration.
Mm-hmm.
This was my second pen that I ever did.
Oh, wow. Can you pull that further away, Sue? We can't see it. There you go.
How's that?
Better.
Wasn't it the best? But anyways. That's my second pen. My third pen was a comfort grip, and I didn't like the little rubbery thing. So I just, and the wood was like Bali or something that I bought from Penn State. So, yeah. And all those were about 5-6 years ago.
Nice.
Cool.
Very good. Nice.
Thank you, Sue.
Yep.
I got
all right, well, that's all.
No.
That's all I have. Oh, Scott's there. Okay. All right, hang on.
Scott's there.
All right, Scott.
So this is the one I sell the most of.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's actually a 308 rifle cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this one's made out of a cork for a fishing handle on a fishing pole.
Oh,
Cool.
Interesting.
Okay.
How did that stabilize?
I soaked it in wood hardener.
Okay.
I glued the pieces together, and then because they came in like 3/4 inch round pieces.
Yeah.
With just about the right size hole in the middle.
Okay.
So then I glued them together with cork, the glue you use to glue them together to make a fishing rod. And then I soaked it in wood hardener after that.
Wow.
And then I turned it with a very, very sharp skew.
Looks great. That really looks nice.
But I make a lot of these.
Oh.
Then I've made some for Boy Scouts. You can buy clips that have the Boy Scout emblem in them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. Where did you find those?
I think they were on Hut. Is where I found these. Or Beartooth Woods, I think, is the other one I use a lot.
Beartooth, I like them. I had to
go. Ernie's a good dude.
I had to go to Hawaii to get clips for sheriffs and deputies. I mean, they have police all over the place, but to find sheriffs or deputies, you got to find those.
And this one has got pine cones in the resin.
Oh, cool!
Oh, nice.
Nice. And what color is the pen?
It's black chrome.
gonna say it's not gunmetal. It looks good.
And that's a Sierra kit.
Very nice.
Oh,
I don't make many pens anymore. They're boring.
yeah.
Right.
When I made
Yeah,
those,
I just,
Okay.
when I made those Boy Scout pens, I made over 500 of them to give out for an event.
Whoa.
Wow.
wow.
I got to
Well,
the
that-
point I could make them a pen every 10 minutes.
Wow.
Dang.
I
And this
believe it.
took me longer to
Thank-
glue them and drill them than it did to make them.
That ain't no
Right.
lie.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was doing production mode, that's exactly how it worked. Yep. You could,
Yep.
and I was doing 40 of them at a time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you guys
Been
got
there, done that.
for me to show you something?
Well, we got some other folks still on the list yet, Sue. So hang on.
No problem.
You still got Scott
So-
on your list?
So Randy's got one to lit on the. Randy says he's got one to show.
Yes. Quite a few years ago, me and a friend of mine, Wayne Roth, would help a butcher in the area handle the deer season rush, processing deer. And what I would do is I would tell the person that if they gave me a tine from the antler and the shell, I would make them a pen. And so here is one of the ones I made. I do not have this anymore. I just have the photo.
Oh, that's cool.
Ah, very cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And I would go buy the bullet and 308, 30-06 were the most popular, but there were others. And I would take the time. One of the things I found out is that if you wanted to darken the antler so it didn't stand out as white against the bark, is what you could do is you could wipe a solution of potassium permanganate onto the antler, and it would darken it and make it look just like bark. And so that's really all I have to show.
All right.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Nice.
very much, Randy. So Scott says he's got one to show. So what you got, Scott?
Well, I've got two. This is it's in a kilo, and that's my favorite kit. They're a nice pen, and that's got some walnut, what do you call it? The Bastogne walnut. But this is
Is that
the
the oil
mistake.
slick?
What's
Can
that?
you pull them further away from the camera? There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the what they call the oil slick?
A kilo, I think, is what they call it, a Beaufort. That I get my kits from William Woodwright in Canada.
Oh, okay,
So-
Beaufort. Okay,
Yeah.
That's pretty.
That's a pretty.
their version of a Wall Street Monarch.
But this is the one that I'm saying I made a mistake. I turned this for a friend whose wife was passing away of cancer. It's a cancer pen. And I bought a pink, the epoxy type blank, and I just glued it together and turned it. I don't know if you can see it if I bring it up closer, but I should have painted. I should have painted.
Oh, yes, I see the tube.
A tube.
Yeah. It did a nice job. It's a beautiful kit, but it's a mistake I won't make again. So
Right.
That's
it's
Didn't
always
notice it at
important to-
first.
You'll
always important to paint the
or
tubes.
buy white tubes. Yes.
yeah. And good thing it was just an expensive kit and they only come in every so often. So she passed away before I could turn another one. So, but that's the mistake. And I think that's something that
Needs to
I
be
hope,
addressed. Yeah.
I hope I keep somebody else from making the same mistake.
Right.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's always wise to paint the inside of the blank.
Yeah, that might be something to bring up in tips and tricks so that we can remind people to paint the inside or the tubes.
Yeah.
before
Well,
they put them together.
if you paint the tube, you're going to highlight that color within the tube, within your blank. But if you paint the blank, so if you paint the blank a lighter color, it's going to allow more light to come into it. But if you paint the inside of the blank a darker color, it's going to make the color of the blank more robust. And either way, both ways will prevent the tube from being shown. But if you paint the tube is now going to be highlighted within the blank. So that's why you don't paint the blank, that's why you don't paint the tube.
So when you're saying paint the tube, you're talking about after it's drilled,
No.
paint that
After
hole?
after you drill the blank, you paint the blank hole.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And for me, what I use $1 fingernail paint polish. Just go in there and paint it. If I got a greenish, Malisay type blank, I'll go in, some type of a green color, and I'll paint the inside of the blank. If I got a light colored opaque blank, like what Scott was showing, I'd use some type of a pink or a white to paint the inside of the blank.
Okay.
Seems very useful. Good to know.
And so the lighter the color, it will make the acrylic a lighter, more opaque type color, but you won't be able to see the tube. The darker the color, it'll make the blank color more robust.
Okay.
And if
Thank
you
you.
go to a site that actually is selling different types of turnings like Bearwood Tools or Wood Turnings with a Z, they tell you how transparent that is so that you know whether you need to paint the inside of that blank before you put the tube in. Also, there are tubes available that are in kind of like a chrome or a black chrome, and also that are already pre-painted white. So there's a lot of options out there.
You can get tube painted black too, Sue.
Exactly.
I saw somebody years ago. I don't remember who it was. It might have been like Ed Street or somebody, and he had taken a long dowel, and painted a bunch of different colors on the dowel. And then after the blank was drilled, you could take that dowel and you could put it in there, and you'd be able to get an idea of what the color would do to the blank, and then use the color you wanted. And at one point, I had a little dowel like that I had painted, because I had a bunch of testers, like model paint, that I used on the inside of mine. And I don't know what happened to that little dowel now, but it was a great little idea. And then you just, but I'm with Dane. You got to paint the blank, not just the tube. Otherwise, you see like the glue residue or something when you paint only the tube.
Exactly.
Highlights it.
Yeah.
And so the people I bought the kit from may have said to paint it, but I'm a man and I don't read instructions well.
Hey, the girls understand, okay?
All right, so we've run a little bit over here, but we've got one more person who had a pen. Carl said he has a pen. So let's see what you got, Carl.
Oh, nice.
Carl.
I made this years ago. I don't even remember where I got, the kit from, but I do remember it was a fellow in Georgia that was making all different types where you can glue in. Each star is separate and glued in, and then the stripes are separate and glued.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Wow. Beautiful.
And how long ago did you make that?
Many years ago.
You're saying every star is glued in, every stripe is glued. That's all segmented?
It's a
Inlays.
It's laser inlay.
It's laser cut.
Yeah. Laser cut.
Oh.
And you got to put those stars in there with the tweezers.
Yeah. push it in with your finger after you put some super glue in there to hold it.
I remember you showed.
You can use the point of an X-Acto knife too. I've seen people do that.
But still, no, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Thank you.
It's one I've kept over the years.
Beautiful.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I would keep that one for sure.
So the other thing you can use is automotive paint. So if you got a pen blank that's got like a pearly color in it, like this one, if you want to highlight me, Dane.
Yeah.
So this one has a pearl white in the blank.
Pull it back a little.
Has a pearl white in the blank. So I used a pearl white touch-up paint for an automotive. I think it was Cadillac white pearl is what they called it. So it gives you the pearly effect on your to hide your tube. The other thing I do is if I think it's going to be translucent, I'll take a real bright single bulb pen light, LED pen light, and shine it in the blank before I turn it. If I can see the light coming through the blank, you got to paint the inside.
Yeah.
That'll tell you every time if you're going to see the tube on the inside. And I usually do it in a black box or turn the light off in the shop so it's dark so that you can really see it glow. If it glows, chances are you're going to see the tube. But pearlized paint gives it a neat effect too.
Yeah.
Hard to see in the camera, but.
Oh, we can see. Looks good.
So it's just, even fingernail polish, if you find pearlized stuff, works well too.
Yep. Yeah, there's some amazing fingernail polish, that the girls use, and they works marvelous inside a pen blank. So, all right, well, with that, what an evening. I apologize, I missed the first part of the meeting. I had to take care of my kitties. We had a great demo tonight. I'm sure we had a bunch of good gallery at the beginning. Missed that. I'll have to try and catch it on the repeat. And, with that, we'll call this demarcation point of the main meeting. And we'll keep things open for the after hours.